Well, hello there. How are you? I am Zell, the Zelazel, and behind me is none other than Strahd von Zarovich. And today we welcome you to play Dungeons and Dragons: Curse of Strahd, my own rendition that I call the Beckoning. Today we'll feature 5 characters: Lunaris Lenenhe, Jax of Candlekeep, Zoltan Mordred III, Kia Ani, and Grimbold Silentfoot. I hope you guys enjoy. I don't claim to be in any way, shape, or form professional, but hopefully you're entertained, and yeah, we'll see how it goes, shall we? Cheers. So yeah, just for those at home who may be watching this at some point, whether on Twitch at some point or on YouTube, I haven't decided whether I'll premiere on one or the other or both or whatever. Yeah, my name is Zelazel, the Zelazel. And yeah, I will be your dungeon master for this evening. With me, we have Shanna Lee, who plays Jax of Candlekeep. If you want to say hi.
Hello.
And we also have my sibling. Oh, sorry, I dropped something. Lunaris Lenente, who is played by Lunar Smiles on Twitch.
Yay. Hello. I'm here.
We also have my college buddy from we're in Bible college together. Shocker. And yeah, he's playing Zoltan Mordred III. His name is Ian, or Scantman, if you want to say hi.
Good evening, folks. Oh, it's not evening yet, but I still said it.
It's evening for me.
Perfect. I was speaking with you then.
Adam Yellowhammer, a good buddy of mine from the Twitch community. Yeah, he plays Kia Ani, Wood Elf Barbarian. Go ahead and say hi, Adam.
Hello, hello.
And finally, we have Grimbold Silentfoot, played by Horror Hobbit or Blues Clues, or a myriad of other names that I've seen you take. So say hi if you want.
Hello.
Good. All right. Well, shall we get into it then?
Ooh.
All right. So, we're going to start off with Kia Ani. Kia Ani, you've been traveling through the woods along an unknown road since dawn. It is thick, overgrown, and has extremely strange features compared to the jungle from whence you come. Whereas you are used to the noise and the heat, this may as well be the opposite, with a cold mist and a sun that cannot seem to quite pierce through the overcast to truly grant any semblance of warmth. More disturbing is the silence, a strangely audible sound that scratches at your nerves. Once in a while, it is simply pierced by the call of a strange bird you have never heard before, and it reminds you that you are well and truly not in your homeland anymore. It has just begun to drizzle, and the hours spent walking have begun to concern you with the lack of evidence that any other people exist in this land. The fog spilling out of the forest to swallow up the road behind you for every step that you take. Quite suddenly ahead, jutting from the impenetrable woods on both sides of the road, you see high stone buttresses looming gray in the fog. Huge iron gates hang on the stonework. Dew clings with cold tenacity to rusted bars. 2 headless statues of armed guardians flank the gate, their heads now lying among the weeds at their feet. They greet you only with silence. Though you have seen impressive stonework in your homeland of Chult, these are truly unique in their style and architecture. In fact, you are so struck by the sudden solidity of these edifices that you almost do not notice an unconscious human lying on the now muddied path until you are but a few yards away from him. What do you do?
I am I'm going to investigate.
All right. Gonna go take a look at him.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Investigate roll.
Yeah, go ahead and give me an investigation roll for me.
And
You guys can tell me what you roll, so I don't have to keep on all tapping and stuff.
so I got a 4 plus 1, so a 5.
Yeah, he looks like a pretty normal human, although strange clothing. Zoltan, what does or who does Kiani see gathering mud on the road here? Want to give us a description of your character?
Sure. Yeah, I'd love that. So, you come across a guy named Zoltan. You don't know his name yet, but I'm sure you'll find out eventually. He's average size, 6'2", so maybe on the larger size. He looks middle-aged-ish. He looks fairly pale. You can't tell if that's just his natural skin tone or if that's his pallor due to being unconscious on the ground there. And so, as you come across him there, he starts. Is he stirring at all there, Mr. DM?
Yeah, so Kiani, you do see him breathing. You don't really see anything else based on your roll. Ian, go ahead and give Zoltan a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Constitution saving throw. We will get a 14 total.
Okay, yeah. So the persistence of the drizzling rain combined with the sudden realization that someone is standing near you finally cuts through the remainder of your drugged stupor. The last thing you remember is the blurred face of your apparent kidnapper, Aragal, as he tosses you off his caravan and callously calls back to you, "Welcome to Barovia, cousin."
So, under my breath, I'll whisper, somewhat, at least audibly enough for him to hear, "Damn Vistani."
I'm just going to do this for our own side. Yeah, so Kiani, what does Zoltan see if he were to peer up at you in this sort of half-drugged stupor of his? Want to give us a description of your character?
Yeah. So I'm a male wood elf. I have a dagger and I have a warhammer. But the hammer is something that is mysterious, that is unknown to where it came from, and I can only use it for evil. And yeah, I think that's
good. Cool. Yeah. So you see a wood elf barbarian of some kind, a very strange-looking person by his dress. Anyway, you're face down, prone, as the mechanic would say right now. How close would you have gotten to the unconscious dude there, Kiani?
how close?
Yeah. How close would you have probably gotten to? Would you like have gone right up to him? Would you be like a couple feet back?
Yeah, I would go right up to him.
Okay. Yeah. So you have this strange 5'1", I think you are 5'1". A half. Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot more than I was thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. So a little shorter than usual, but. What would you like to do, Mr. Zoltan?
Mr. Zoltan. I'll half roll over and I say, "Are you just going to stand there or are you going to help me up?" As I reach my hand up.
What does Kiani do?
Of course, I want to grab his hand, but do I need to roll a dice? or
No,
something?
you don't have to roll nothing. No.
Okay.
Yeah. For the most part, unless I say basically here's how I imagine a role playing scenario usually happening, unless it's something, crazy or extravagant or something like that, or awesome perhaps, or potentially dangerous. You guys can just describe what you do, and we'll assume it essentially happens. And I won't. I might. How shall we say? Describe more of it a little bit. Flesh it out a bit or whatever, just to make it sound cooler. But for the most part, yeah, if it's regular actions, you guys interact however you want. It's all good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna grab his hand and pull him up.
All right. There's
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say there's a thick sucking sound as there's quite a bit of mud kind of slowly piling and water piling around you. But yeah, you're, other than being half covered in mud, you don't seem to be too affected by the drugs. It's sort of wearing off quite quickly now. You've pushed through it, and it is a little chilly for you, but yeah.
So, Elf, do you know where we are? Or should I refer to you as something else?
You could just say Elf is good.
Elf it is. Zoltan is a little bit suspicious of anybody who's a bit different. I don't want to say prejudiced, but suspicious.
That's fair. Cool. So, though you are both sort of engaged with one another, sizing up the stranger before you, wondering if they are friend or foe, you hear the sounds of chainmail and heavier footfalls coming from the road behind you, where Kiani had tread only moments ago. Lunaris, before you is the strangest scene, both confusing and welcoming at the same time. The presence of a man and a peculiar elf are certainly a more welcome sight than the tooth and claw of the wolves you inexplicably survived the night before. What's more, you can't help but be in awe of the headless guardians standing vigil before an iron gate easily 5 times your height, slightly ajar but firmly held within the stone walls. Why don't you go ahead and give us a description of your character, please?
Sure, there stands not a short person, 5'11", pale blonde hair, very fair skin, blue eyes, standing in chainmail, and has a rather mighty chunk of metal on their back. Looks like a pole arm of sorts, with the two-handed sword sort of at the ready. Be you friend or foe, do you follow any that is evil?
Yeah.
So have we both noticed him walking up at this point in time?
Yep, definitely. You kind of heard, yeah. Lunaris is not the most subtly dressed person. Definitely has some armor that you guys would have heard them from quite a ways away. So, yeah, she's about what 30? I'd say 30 feet from you guys by now.
I'll just back up and stand at the ready here, because this is still an odd situation.
Definitely.
I have no idea where I am. There's this somewhat different looking wood elf, and then this paladin walking up. This is not a situation that I would be accustomed to where I am coming from.
You can tell that though this person seems human, sort of, there is a almost otherworldly quality to them. There's almost like an unnatural shine to their hair and their skin, kind of exuding a brilliance that is definitely not from the sun, since it's not even out right now, just barely, pressing through the overcast and the clouds that are raining on you. So
Very out of place in this dark area.
yeah, definitely, definitely interesting. Kiani, what do you do in this situation? Do you just kind of...
All right. Now I kind of got this kind of figured out now.
That's good.
So I'm going to. They're 30 feet away. I'm going to roll for intimidation because I don't know who they are or what it is, but I'm going to show them that I am not intimidated by their presence, and I'm going to go ahead and roll now.
Go ahead.
I don't have the speed thing on, but I will.
It's okay.
2 plus 1. Darn.
Yeah, so Lunaris, you kind of see this elf sort of has a very confident stance about him. Like, looks like he can handle himself. Very well muscled and everything like that. It doesn't come off necessarily as intimidation, but like a clear warning. Like, I am fully capable of defending myself if you're a bad person as well. But it's mostly body language that it's like, you know, I am who I am kind of thing. So,
Okay.
Can everybody here, the three of you, give me a perception check, please?
Perception.
Mm-hmm.
So
18 plus 3.
Okay.
plus 1, 9.
Take 13, please.
Okay. Sorry, Lunaris, yours was a 9? Okay.
Yes.
Kiani, you're the first one to notice that something has changed. At first, it's not. You realize it's not because of the newcomer at all. You realize because you're the one who is so alien in this area, or at least in this type of forest. It seems so strange to you that you realize that the sound of birds and the creaking of trees, although they're pretty infrequent, they haven't sounded for a while now, and the forest itself is most definitely still. The rest of you catch on a moment later as you feel the temperature dropping steadily. It isn't long before you can soon see your breath and the breath of these strangers become visible. It's clear that something is wrong when you hear the snap of branches and running footsteps upon the forest floor. And they are behind you into the forest, and that is what truly puts you all on guard. Jax, you've been running for what your lungs accuse has been forever. Small scratches and torn fabric of your clothing is evidence in your mind that this forest might as well be attacking you, in addition to the certain horror only yards at your heels, as it roils like waves upon the Sword Coast from whence you've traveled several weeks ago. You can't help but look down at your beloved pet raven, Poe, who has only fluttered in your hands a few times since being engulfed by what is clearly pursuing you. Give us a description of your figure running frantically toward the promise for the first time of hope and safety in hours. At least an hour.
I've been running a long time. I got good stamina.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you about that in a second.
So Jax is a young, around 19 years old girl who appears to be human. You wouldn't think anything much looking at her. She's got long dark hair that almost has like a purple glow to it, along with her skin, which has like a similar, she almost gives off purple everywhere, but it's like you wouldn't think anything of it. Like maybe she's just got some makeup on or something. And she's got emerald eyes, and she has her pet raven, Poe, who went through some trauma recently. So she's wearing a cloak and is also clearly trying to carry a bunch of stuff that she gathered last minute and couldn't store properly, along with her poor bird. And yeah, that's pretty much Jax. You wouldn't think much looking at her, but
All right, yeah. So just in the distance, the forest starts to finally lessen a bit, and you see some figures and what you imagine is a road from the slight elevation, not maybe 10, 15 yards away, and you don't really have the ability to stop because you know what's behind you still. What do you do as you come bursting through the foliage onto a road where an Azamar, a man, and an elf stand gawking at you and at one another?
Wait, so is the fog still behind me?
The fog's still behind you.
Okay, so I'm yelling run as I'm running toward them with this fog behind me.
Lass,
All right.
what are we running from?
So on your left, Jax, you see a massive gate set within a stone wall. The door slightly ajar, and to your right is fog, not yet necrotic, in no less halting away in its thick mystery. Which way are you running?
I'm running toward the gate, and I'm telling them to stay out of the fog as I'm running.
All right.
Stay out of the fog! What the hell are you guys doing? Move!
It isn't long that the source of this woman's distress becomes clear. A sickly green fog flows from the tree line with what can only be described as a moan of despair. What's worse, you can't be certain that ghostly skeletal arms or emancipated faces reach out with hands and mouths of horror. Everybody, please roll an athletics check. Jax, because you've been running for literally an hour, you now have one level of exhaustion and have to roll at disadvantage.
What does that mean that it's disadvantage?
So just roll your athletics twice. And so disadvantage means that you have to pick the lowest one. The advantage would be the opposite. You get to pick the highest out of the two. So.
Okay.
Yeah, Ani got a 6 or 2 plus 4.
Okay.
I got a 6, and then my athletics is -1, so 5.
Okay. Did you roll twice or just once?
Yes. Yeah, my other roll was 13.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
I seem to roll a lot of 13s.
It's good. It's good.
Zoltan rolled, what did I roll? An 11.
Okay.
Am I the last one?
Yep.
Okay. I got a 1 plus 2.
All right. All right.
Well, we're both
sweet.
then, you and I. Except I've been running for an hour.
Wait, what did you roll, Shannon?
5.
Oh, well, I still rolled worse than you.
Yeah. So if you guys don't have to run, I kind of jumped the gun a little bit. You don't have to run necessarily. The fog isn't necessarily hard to outrun. Zoltan, you clearly have an extra 30 feet on everybody else if you want it. And yeah, the rest of you, Lunar, you haven't moved yet. You're kind of just, maybe it's because you're already about 30 feet away from the others and you kind of just haven't seen the fog and what's in it quite as fast as the rest of them.
Sure.
But yeah, you're 60 feet behind them. It'll take you at least 3 rounds to get to the gate, which we won't roll multiple times. I just want to see how far away you guys are.
Sure.
So yeah, once you do realize where what's coming after you, it's not necessarily hard to outrun it or at least pace it. But yeah, it takes about 60 to 90 seconds to get to the gate. And Zoltan, you're the first one there. Are you doing anything in particular once you're there, or are you waiting for them? Or?
Is this gate wide open, or is it shut, what?
You have to squeeze through it. It's actually only like slightly ajar, and it's like you can get through it without too much of stopping or anything like that. But it's pretty tight.
I'll try to open it a bit more because even though I can tell I'm the largest one here, it looks like the Asmar might be a bit wider with all that armor that's on right now.
Yep.
So,
Fair enough. Go ahead and give me just a straight strength check for me.
Sure. Okay, we will roll a 6.
Yeah, so as you're trying to pull it open to help others through, you get it maybe an inch and realize that the hinges have been rusted for what looks like possibly years. And it's going to be a hell of a time either opening or closing this thing.
Can I run up and kick those hinges or something?
Well, one of the hinges, or like two of the hinges, are probably about 15 feet and 30 feet at least in the air. So,
So
they're
acrobatics check.
well, before you do that, we'll say that Kiani, you're the first one to kind of arrive. Jax is basically like wanting to grasp onto your like kilt or whatever you're wearing there to pull her along, because she is dying at this point, breathing heavily. And Lunar, you finally realized, holy shit, there are some very sketchy things coming at you, and our boat. We'll say.
I guess what I was going to do is like, maybe because I am standing there, I was actually wanting to do the divine sense, detecting good or evil. Is there evil in there?
Yeah. So you don't
Very
need to
evil.
roll. So it is undead for sure. And your divine sense. Can you read that description for me just briefly so I can?
Yeah, within 60 feet, I can sense anything affected by the Hallow spell, or know the location of any celestial fiend undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover.
Perfect.
As an action.
You know with more certain than you've ever known before that there is a wall of undead death, or at least undead, oh my god, it's gonna fuck me up, coming at you.
Let's go.
And your initial response is, because everybody else has seen this, horrific thing with arms of skeletons and mouths and, what just looks like a rolling wall of, ghostly skeletons, essentially. That's scary enough. You get it on a whole different level. You get it from a spiritual level, essentially, that this is the most wrong thing you've ever felt. It is not of this plane of existence, or at least it's not from your plane of existence on the material plane from whence you come. This is so wrong, and it it makes you basically shrivel inside. It doesn't do anything, mechanically, but your character is frickin' freaked out at this for sure. So, yeah. I better ask, have you moved from your spot?
I sure have.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah, so you have one more round before you're actually at the gate. Okay, we'll say that's at the top of the thing. So Zoltan, yeah, you're certainly capable of at least kicking the first shin. That's within reach. Do you want to try and get the middle one as well, or?
Yeah, let's do the middle one. I'll use an acrobatics roll on that.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. It would actually probably be in athletics, just because acrobatics is sort of, it's more. I'm not sure if that,
Mobile movement.
yeah.
Okay, it's just because of the climbing and kind of jumping.
Yeah, it would be. It would be more, acrobatics would be more like if you were trying to jump off of it and like roll and not take any damage. That's what that's sort of for.
Okay, I was just trying to help myself out here because I got a +5.
I kind of figured what you were doing there. That's fine. It's fine. Go ahead and you can try and climb up and give it a shot.
Oh, okay. We will still get a 17, including the -1.
Yeah. So how are you doing this? Like when you get to it, what are you hitting it with? Your fist? You're kicking the thing.
I have an axe on me. I'll hit it with the back of the axe. So not
perfect.
I don't want to blunt the blade of it, but the back end of it.
All right, perfect. Yep, that sounds good. You kind of give it a good wrap. A couple of times you kind of, your arm reverberates from the iron hinge that's been there. But yeah, you seem to like loosen up a little bit. Kiani, do you do anything once you're in? You're basically there now.
Yes, I will. Once I'm getting in the gate, or we're in the gate. All right, we're through the gate. Okay.
Yeah, you're right there. You can go inside or around it or whatever you want.
Okay, I'll go inside, and then I will use my stealth.
Okay.
I'll roll for that.
Sure.
Just in case there's anything that is beyond that gate.
Ah, okay. I like it.
Or to elude those who are chasing us that they don't see me.
Perfect.
Goes to the gate. So I roll 12 plus 5, 17.
Sounds good. Yeah, you, for all intents and purposes, not only because it's rainy and it's misty in the area on the other side too, nobody would ever see you essentially walk in. Like, you just duck in, cut into the shadows or through the mist, and yeah, you're for all intents and purposes, at least to your knowledge, completely unseen.
Yeah.
Perfect. Shanna, do you want to do anything? You are, for every skill you do, it is a disadvantage right now, just for the record. So
I'm just trying to get out of here. So
yeah, sounds good. Yeah, so this young woman is huffing and puffing and deeply perspiring, whether she likes it or not, and kind of makes it through the mist, soaked from sweat and from the drizzle and everything like that, and basically stops, hands on knees, kind of just heaving away there, kind of safe for now anyway. Yeah, Lunar, are you just kind of booking it still for the gate there, or
Yeah.
All
Did
right.
you need me to make any more roll?
no, that's fine. I'll say that you make it now. You're pretty much at the gate. You turn around and you kind of see one figure in particular. Most of the undead imagery that you've seen have been kind of like bits and pieces of ephemeral or ethereal people, but not like a solid person. You kind of think you see a figure deep within the cloud that moves forward, and it has red eyes, but very little can be discerned from that. And as this figure takes one step forward, the cloud now seems to rush at the gate. You estimate you have about 12 seconds before this necrotic-looking
Okay.
cloud, of fog rather, envelops the gate and gets through. So
Okay.
we'll say
About
top
12
of the
seconds.
yeah. So in other words, 2 rounds. You guys have to deal with the fog in some way. Zoltan, I think it's probably about your turn here.
Okay.
Close the door.
Is this gate, is it open wide enough for Lunaris to make it in? Can I judge that?
Yeah, like I would say that Lunaris is basically inside if
Yeah.
they want to be right now. So
Yeah, definitely. I was
By the
going
way-
to say, help me close this door.
yeah. By the way, like, you guys don't have to wait for your turn to talk or do anything like of that nature for the most part. It's you're welcome to talk and comment. If I say it's at the top of your round, it just means what's your basically 1 or 2 actions,
Yeah.
a movement and an action of some kind of skill or some kind. That's kind of what that means. So, yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we should probably keep going because this gate is not stopping anything. I'll
go
try
ahead.
to. Sorry,
Yep.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say I'll try to pull it shut now that I see everybody's inside because I'm assuming that this giant wall and gate is good for stopping a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know what kind of enchantments or incantations there are on here.
Give me a quick intelligence roll with advantage.
With advantage? Okay.
Yeah, because you are a carpenter by trade, it seems, and this is made, yes, of iron for the most part, but you can tell it's made of pretty large timber as well. So
21.
perfect. Yeah, you're
I actually saw
confident
that roll. That was cool.
nice. Yeah, so you guys should be able to see the game log as people roll publicly. So you should be able to see what each other rolls, which is cool. Yeah, so you're pretty confident that if you can get this gate shut, it should keep it out. It's like really solid and quite thick. So, is anybody else going to help or do anything like that? That might be a reasonable
Yeah.
choice.
I definitely would like to help to close.
I would like to help.
in spite
Alright.
of being exhausted, I'm gonna try.
Oh, no.
Okay. All right. Perfect. That's good. That's good. Okay. So Zoltan is going to be making a athletics check with advantage, and the DC lowers from 20 to 15 because you're all basically helping to close this door. So as long as you get a 15 with one of the 2 rolls, You should be all right.
No, and yes.
Aw,
17.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys are all just kind of just reefing on this thing. You're kicking the rust a little bit, or knocking the rust from the second hinge. Seems to have helped maybe a little bit. You're not too sure, but nevertheless, within 6-7 seconds, you guys just reef on this door and it shuts solidly in, and you can tell that there's no real leaks and everything like that. Quite the opposite. It's almost as if as soon as you push it shut, it becomes a wall of its own. It is like within millimeters in diameter in terms of how perfectly cut or how perfectly built this gate seems to be. So, yeah, you get to just glimpse one last grasp of a hand from the figure with the red eyes just as the door closes, and yeah, suddenly it seems perfectly safe. No fog coming at you.
I'll plop down on my backside and take a sigh of relief, leaning up against the gate, door, whatever you want to call it.
Perfect.
I fall down on my knees with Poe in my hand, trying to get Poe to wake up.
Yeah, so Poe seems to take a little bit of time. He's clearly able to fly. It's just he looks like he's been flying for like just as long as you've been essentially running at this point. So he's quite tired. He kind of flutters and nuzzles you a bit, and he seems perfectly healthy, just exhausted as yourself. So yeah. What would you like to do, Adam? Are you doing anything in particular?
I would like to build a fire or build some kind of look for food and kind of replenish or water or something in
Perfect.
where we're at. So I'm going to explore.
Sounds good.
Area.
So yeah, you guys are able to. You guys all have like a water skin or something similar. There are pools of water. It's kind of tepid, but because there's fresh water on leaves and everything, you guys can gather enough water to replenish your stock. It's only about a minute or two, and it's actually Kia Ani who's the first one to hear a sudden scream from the sky.
Ooh.
And suddenly, within about 30 feet, you hear something fall and crash into trees from above. And you see what you think is at first a child crash through the canopy and land with a sickening thud onto the ground. Limbs seem to be out of place, and blood mats a mess of hair that is now rain-soaked as well. Grimbald. Barely moments ago, you had managed to escape injury against foes more than capable of killing you. But the traitorous paladin, who was your supposed protector, set off some kind of trap on the ashen tome you had hidden. This opened some strange rift and brought you careening into a realm of mist with seemingly no end. Unfortunately, it does end. Something flutters in the air, though. A parchment of some kind, perhaps. You reach out to grasp it instinctively, and that's when you see the trees appear from below you. They approach faster than you could have hoped to react to. Despite the pain of your crashing into them, they are likely responsible for your survival. The branches, coupled with your small size and experience as a thief, prevented you from dying on impact. However, you are dying. Give the group a description of the dying character of yours.
All right. I guess he's just a smug little bastard. He's got blood dripping all down his face, scrape marks from all the trees, torn clothing.
Yep. What is he, by the way?
He is a halfling rogue.
Okay.
So Lunaris comes up. Oh,
Sure.
Do you want to say something?
Just one second. This I wanted to explain this. The reason why I'm doing this, it seems like really mean to you, but I also know who you have in your party. So I wanted to explain to you what a death saving throw is, because none of you have experienced that before.
That's not true.
Oh, that's fair. I think you actually have now that you say that. So basically, what that means is there's a little thing on your character sheet. Sorry, give me a second so I can pull it up.
Saving throws.
It is probably under saving throws. If you click that, no, sorry, I didn't actually look this up. I think it's just a regular D20 in any case. So if you see in the bottom left of your character sheet, there's a dice circle thing. You can pull that up and just click once on the top D20. And what a death saving throw is you have 3 chances to roll above a 10. Each time you roll, if you get 3 above a 10 in a row, then that means you automatically stabilize your character and he's no longer dying, or she. And so this is what you'll do if I call for one, essentially.
And if you get a nat 20, you automatically pass all 3. If you get a nat 1, you fail all 3.
That is correct, too.
So, yeah, don't.
Oh, saving throws.
Yeah. I thought there was an actual spot for a death saving throw. I'm trying to find it here.
Okay, so whenever you start your turn with 0 hit points, you must make a special saving throw called a death saving throw to determine whether you keep close to death or hang on to life. Isn't tied to an ability score. Roll a d20, 10 or higher, you succeed. On your 3rd failure, you die.
Yeah, I don't think they're in a row, Michael. I think it's just...
Yeah, I guess it's just a regular, roll. If you want to go to your bottom left of your character sheet there, Grimbold, you see the circle with the dice, the 20-sided dice looking thing?
No. Where am I?
Bottom left.
Bottom left? Oh, yeah, I see it.
And then it'll pop up a menu and it'll have a bunch of funky looking dice. The top
Yep.
one is your D20. Just click that once.
Yep.
And then, yeah, it'll come up as a roll for everybody.
I think that worked.
It is currently pending.
You got a 3.
All right.
Well,
So that is
at least it
considered
wasn't
one
one.
fail. You're not dead yet, but 2 more fails, and you would potentially die.
Oh.
So, yes. Lunar, you, yes, you do see a very, very injured, what you now realize to be Lightfoot halfling. All of you see this, of course.
Maybe afterwards, I was thinking Lunaris with the usual headspace that they have. Like, oh my gosh, a little child, you look so injured, let me come help.
Yeah, sounds good. And how would you like to help?
I would like to help by placing my hands, one hand on their head and the other one on their heart, and their hands glow. Touch a creature and restore 1 hit point.
1 hit point is enough to definitely stabilize. And of course, just because I have the effect, magical.
Also,
Yeah, go ahead.
does this come across as Lunaris in pain at the moment?
Yes. Yeah.
Even though
just
I'm
as
full hit points?
just as before, you find yourself a shock of pain as you reach out, and a glow surrounds your hand. That glow seems to come with it a not necessarily a sickly green glow or anything like that, but it's just off color than what it normally is. You recognize it as not normal, and it kind of gives you a strained pain. It's only slight as this celestial energy pours through you, and it doesn't actually take any hit points away from yourself or anything like that. But it is a shock of pain, and you have to kind of focus a little bit harder to heal you. Yeah, but Grimbold, you suddenly realize that your definitely not dead. Your eyes kind of flutter awake, and you realize that there's a wash of warmth that you sorely want, because it is bloody cold where you are right now, in terms of the chill drizzle kind of covering you and stuff like that. Some of your wounds seem less terrible than they were, but yeah, you are currently at 1 hit point.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, So for the most part, Kiani, you have a fire basically ready to be lit, and yeah, Jax, you are slowly getting your breath about you after a couple of minutes. It's your legs are aching and everything like that. You kind of got a bit of a headache from breathing so bloody hard, and
then I'm going to heal the one that's ill, which is what character is blue, please?
Grimbold.
Grimbold. I'm going to go ahead and roll a heal for them.
Your medicine roll. Okay.
Yeah, medicine roll.
So medicine roll doesn't actually like give any hit points back, but you can certainly like bandage wounds and everything like that, and help to stabilize for sure. Yep.
Okay.
It would have been good before I healed, but the heal more or less stabilized.
Yep.
Okay. So we're good on that then.
Yeah. So he's not dying anymore. What your medicine roll, if you didn't roll it though, is kind of give you a good idea of what is injured and how that might be affecting him. So it's more like a knowledge base than an actual like clear, and then suddenly he gets hit points kind of thing. So
Gotcha. Yeah, I might as well. I'm gonna roll.
okay, do it up.
Dun. All right, 5 + 1, 6.
Yeah. So
right.
to your knowledge, it doesn't look like anything's actually broken. It is mostly severe strains, pulled muscles. But yeah, you don't think he's in any dire danger of like bleeding out. But yeah, you're definitely, you're a little clumsy. It's a kind of a weird alien place. You're not used to it. So it's a little patchwork than what your best skills are at it, sort of thing. But
All right.
yeah, you help out a little bit for sure. If anything, you're just a comforting presence, and you've shown that, hey, you're not a cannibal wood elf from Chult that wants to eat the poor child. That's just about died. So that's something.
Sounds good.
So Jax is clearly still out of breath and trying to gather herself, but looking around is like, what the fuck just happened?
So, yeah, I see that the four of you look as confused as I do. Why don't we say how in the world we got to this place? I have traveled up and down the Sword Coast, and this does not look familiar to me in the slightest.
I don't know where I am. I was camping in the woods when all of a sudden that crazy fog came out of nowhere, and I had to run away from it because it tried to kill my bird.
Last I remember, I was investigating in the Misty Forest.
The last thing I remember, I was in a battle with an orc.
Are we still not in the Misty Forest?
I don't know. I was running for so long. I don't know where we are now.
I also do not have a clue. I went to sleep in my own bed and woke up here.
Shanna, you happen to realize that the last place you were camping was actually the Misty Forest as well. So there's a connection there for sure.
Okay. I was camping in the Misty Forest. I'm Jax, by the way. Who are you?
My name is Lunaris. I'm just a simple knight.
And
I don't think a simple knight can heal somebody who fell from the sky like that, but okay.
and
Well, Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
And I am Kiani. Last I remember was leaving my homeland, and I ended up here. And this is where I'm at.
Where was your homeland?
It's Chult, by the way. So
Chult. That's right. I come from Chult.
Chult. Chult. That's quite a ways from here. Wait, what
Way
continent
the
are we
hell,
on right now?
like literally on a totally different continent. So, yeah, you've heard tales of Chult, which is from what you understand, a place of intense heat and jungle, forests, and oftentimes even dinosaurs that exist there. Rabid kobold and goblin tribes. You have heard of wild and wood elves that do exist there, but certainly you almost thought it was kind of like anybody who has a high enough intelligence roll anyway. Yeah, that it was almost like a fairy tale more than an actual place. So,
Wow. And what
I've
continent
heard of-
are we on right now?
you were on the continent of Faerun.
Faerun. Okay.
Yeah.
What are you saying, Ian?
I don't remember what I was going to say, but I will introduce myself, and I am Zoltan Mordred the Third.
Oh my goodness. That's I have no words to explain how far that is from here. What are you doing? What has come? What adventures have you seen, my friend? Halt. I can't even imagine.
Grimbald, as you're kind of like slowly getting up and, clearly still quite injured, you realize that your hand is actually clasped onto something in particular.
What is this in my hand? Is it yours?
Well, I'll just go ahead and show y'all.
Ooh.
In your hand is what you realize is a card of some sort. It's got some ruins on the back and everything. And on the front is the image of a ghost of some kind. And anybody who happens to have something like this realizes that it's in the same exact style of the Taroka card that you may have in your possession.
Little one, what is your story? Where did you get that card? I found this one similar, and I show the artifact card that I found earlier.
I believe mine was from a book.
I also have one of similar nature given to me in a letter.
Now, Kiani and Jax, you haven't actually seen these before, but Jax, you realize that there's a squawk from your raven, and it seems to actually have in its mouth this raven card. And Kiani, I believe you did pick up this broken one card as well from the corpse of the goblin that yeah. So these are the 5 cards that seem to if not explain anything, certainly give a direct connection for all of you here.
Seems like we are linked in some reason or another.
Appears to be.
Does anybody know the origin of these cards here?
I do not, but it must be of great importance for us to be gathered together like this.
Coming from a place of knowledge, is there anything that I might be able to know about these cards looking at them?
Sure, go ahead and give me a knowledge arcana check for me, please.
Okay. 17, 18, 19, 20.
Nice. Yeah, so these are so this particular brand is pretty rare. It is known as a Taraka card. It's often used by traveling gypsy people known as the Vistani. They are sometimes, not always, imbued with magic, and they are usually told, or they are usually used to foretell the future or the past, present, and future of an individual, in whether it's a seance or, yeah, just a tarot card reading, which is essentially what this version of it is. Yeah, with your Arcana check, you may have performed something like this before, not with this particular deck of cards by any means, but you certainly have enough knowledge that you know the process that it would be, as well, because you rolled high enough. Essentially, you would have 3 cards laid out for an individual reading. It would be the past is represented by the first card, the present by the second, the third would be represented by the future, and then there would also be 2 more cards that would be sort of thematic, that would be from the top to the bottom, and they usually have some significance. You can't quite recall, but they have some significance in terms of an important figure or a theme in your life or an enemy or a location of something that's supposed to help you, that kind of thing. So that's usually how it's done in sort of a cross fashion. So yeah.
Okay. So I explain that to the group looking at the cards. And then I ask one more time, where did you say you found these?
This one I received in a letter.
That's so strange.
I received mine off of the dead fiance of the person that I was trying to find.
Well, I think these cards may be clues as to why we all ended up where we are.
I think you'd be right.
I do agree. Do you think they brought us somewhere else? Like Kia Ani. It sounds like that, like from where you're from, were you teleported here? Did you just appear here or did you travel here?
I traveled and I ventured out and got lost, and then I ended up here.
You also recall that
So-
the second that you felt like the shift in reality, essentially, from what you can tell, was when you your hammer seemed to activate with the foe of your goblin there. So, not that you have to tell them that, but yeah.
Most tarot cards are associated with some kind of number. Do these have any kind of number association on them? Anything we can see to where, like, what order they should be in?
That is a very excellent question, actually. I'm very impressed that you would even ask that. So just for the record, just to some extent, because you know what tarot cards actually, like, you know the details of them, that's technically called metagaming. Nevertheless, because your character rolled so high, absolutely,
My character
you would
knew
know
about it, so.
Yeah, exactly. So exactly. You do know that there are cards in this particular set that should have numbers, and you realize that the cards that these are considered the I'm trying to remember the actual term that they give it, but they're essentially the king cards. They're the royal cards. None of them have numbers.
Arcana.
Yeah, they're the major pieces that if something like this comes up in a tarot reading, it always trumps whatever number or suit that it is. So each one of these it's interesting that you would have 5 of these particular cards in a, like, it's virtually impossible to have in a normal Tarot card reading. So yeah, very good question.
Okay.
So are we able to decipher anything from these 5 cards that we have?
I would say Shanna could theoretically tell you a made-up story about them, but no, I suppose. Go ahead. Everybody can give me. let me think here. Those who want to can give me an I guess I would define it as a religion check if I were to give you anything. But even then, it's more like insight. So let's go with insight, actually, because it's more using your intuition about what they might mean rather than any sort of, logical something or other. Each one of you can give me an insight.
13.
Okay.
17 plus 1, 18.
All right.
19.
Plus 3.
Okay.
That's 6.
9 total.
Yeah, so I would say that each one clearly represents you in some way. You all kind of get that impression. I would say that Grimbold, you don't really get a direct understanding of why you have a ghost card. Partly because of how low you rolled, but also partly because you're actually not quite sure that this card is meant for you. You kind of, for some reason, get the sense that you're not sure you're supposed to have this thing. Jax, you clearly have an affinity for a raven. You have a raven, and the symbolism of a raven, you have the ability to determine a little bit more of what it could possibly mean. It usually means hidden knowledge. The image actually has what seems to be like the a gravestone in the background there. You actually don't wonder if that might have something to do with like an ornate key of some kind. And so ravens are usually thought of having secrets or holding secrets or something like that. So whether you're the one who has secret knowledge or you're meant to find somebody that has secret knowledge, you being the raven or your raven being the raven, it has a lot of layers that you can kind of speculate. But you do have a sense for sure that this one is meant for you, kind of thing. Lunaris, you're not quite sure what this could have, to do with you, kind of thing. It's more like the best you can kind of come up with is sort of like maybe you are supposed to be finding an artifact, but it's like a total wild guess. You don't get a sense that this is destiny for you or anything, but you could speculate if you wanted. What did you roll, Kiani?
I rolled a 18.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, you actually have, out of the sense of everybody else, maybe just because of how in touch you are with these sorts of things in general, and you're more willing to believe in the spiritual, or you've engaged with it to some degree. You are absolutely certain that the broken one has something to do with your hammer and the pieces of shards that you have already sort of gathered. You have an overwhelming sense that this is meant for you for sure, and has something to do with how your hammer seems to react to shards of this amber stone. And Zoltan, it seems pretty clear that this has something to do with your bloodline. You're confident that this is definitely for you. More to that, what that means. All you can kind of remember is the words of your great aunt, maybe, possibly, Madame Eva, who sent you that letter, which was her words: "If you do find yourself to come to this land, seek me out. There's much to be discussed."
Okay. It seems like all of us are here for a reason. So let's not make light of this, and let's get that done so we can get home to our loved ones.
And what is that exactly? What are we doing here?
I don't know what that is yet, but I was given in this letter that I was given that included this Taroka card. I was told to seek out Madame Eva, so I think that would be a great place to start. What do you say about that?
Where's Madame Eva supposed to be?
I've never been here before, so let's go find a tavern, and I'm sure somebody there can tell us where to go, and if not, at least there'll be a pint of ale and a warm bed.
Yeah, I could use a change of clothes.
I love it. What about you guys, Gribbold and Yanni?
Let's do it.
I could use an ale.
You could use 9 or wait, your hit points are 8 or 9 points.
1, I think.
No, is that okay? Cool. So, do you guys want to? It's still pretty early in the day. Kiani, you left pretty much at dawn, or what comes across as dawn in this place, as low light and as distant and cold as the sun seems to be here. So it's probably been about 2 or 3 hours after that. So it's around, from what you can tell, maybe say 9 or 10 in the morning at best. You do have a fairly injured party member. Do you guys want to travel right away? Do you want to rest up for an hour?
I have
A
2
short
more
rest?
lay on hands left.
Okay.
I'm going to use those. So that'll be 2 more hit points.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, you can bump up your hit points to 3. If you wanted to, you can take what is known as a short rest. A short rest essentially allows you to roll a hit die, which you only have 1 worth of hit points to get that back.
Okay, I'll take a short rest.
So yeah, you guys will, so you guys have a fire for a bit. Kiani's obviously forged enough. Nothing like no game or anything like that. You can actually give me a survivor roll if you want, Adam.
Survival.
Right at the bottom of the
Got it.
column. There, yeah.
I might help with that too, maybe.
Sure, yeah. If you want to roll it twice, then you can get it advantage.
All right, 23.
Okay. Yeah, actually, you're able to do pretty much exactly what you did the night before, which is find sort of a strange furry creature. It has sort of brownish fur and long ears. Fast little thing, but yeah, you're able to take it out with a well-placed dagger, and you have some greens that you've kind of foraged a bit, and some berries, and you gather enough food for the whole party. Actually, a nice rabbit to roast and stuff like that. So, yeah,
Nice.
clearly this wood elf knows what he's doing when it comes to survival. He's provided for all of you quite well.
I'm not surprised.
Thank you, Sir Kiani.
Many thanks.
So yeah, go ahead.
Helm thanks you.
There you go. For those who don't know, Helm is essentially a neutral god of protection, essentially a guardian of sorts. So one of the common deities in the Forgotten Realms, or favorite area where you guys, the Chalton people probably haven't heard too much of that. You have your own pantheon, or the names for the pantheon. Can't honestly quite remember what they are off the top of my head, because I don't think I've ever played a Chalt campaign before.
No, that's not very common.
It's usually not the theme that I usually play. I like the more gothic or the medieval kind of settings. So, but yeah, Grimbald, if you want to roll, do a sorry. There's a little button called Short Rest where your hit points are nearby.
Yes.
If you click that, it'll drop down a menu, and it says automatically apply healing with dice result. And there's a little box, rogue, hit die 1d1+1. Just click that, and then click take short rest.
Okay. I was wondering why it didn't work before.
Yeah. And that should, in theory, possibly heal you at some level.
Oops. I accidentally rolled.
Oh, did you?
I'm at full hit points anyway, so it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
so now I'm trying to remember if a short rest actually gives you. I don't think it gives you any of your lay hands on. Lay on hands. Back,
No,
right?
everything for me is long rest, so short
That's what I
rest doesn't
thought.
do anything for me.
Yeah. I don't know if that actually worked for you or not, Grimbold.
I don't think so. It's still 3 at 9.
Reset next one. Good try here. Oh, you have to hit confirm apparently.
Take short. Confirm. Abilities have been reset. Okay. Maybe it doesn't just do it to hit points.
Weird. Okay, just click on the bottom left thing and just roll a 1d8 for me. It's the third one up from that little menu that pops up for the dice.
Gotcha.
We'll just go by that. In the immortal words of my grandfather, Farajab! Which just means maddening child, which he would yell at all of his kids and grandkids all the time. He was a loving.
2.
All right. +1, so you actually bump up to 6 hit points now.
All right.
Which is better than nothing for sure.
Yep.
Alrighty. Yeah, so after an hour, you guys are certainly more capable of walking. You did get another bout of healing or two, also from Lunaris, whose touch is warm and fills you with a healing energy, more than just actually chilling out and resting your busted up limbs. And you kind of roll your shoulder, which got the most damage to it, and it's still pretty sore, but you realize that you got all your movement and everything for the most part. Lunaris, you got the same sort of shock of pain. You're kind of getting used to it. It's sort of like touching like an electric wire almost, but it's very, it's not as it's about as painful as like putting your tongue on a battery kind of thing. It's got that level of pain where it's more uncomfortable than it is actually harming you. So, yeah.
Not quite as divine as I remember, but it's definitely not enough pain to stop me from helping those in need.
So, Kiani, as you're looking for food and good water and everything like that for everybody, you only have to travel maybe about 30, 40 feet down the road. And there's actually a large signpost that's there with 4 pieces of wood, one pointing where you just came from, and 3 that are pointing essentially east, southeast. And the one says the East Gate, and that's where apparently you are. You're on the furthest east portion of this area, from what you can tell. And the other 3 read as follows: the Old Svalich Road, which you presume is the one that you're on right now, the village of Barovia, and Castle Ravenloft. And what you can actually see in the distance, let's see if I can't actually bring this up for a second. Oops.
Out of character, I'm sure Jax would recognize those names as well with the knowledge she had in her.
Yes, that is quite true. Jax, you realize that this is the place that you were kind of looking for. Maybe not in the way you were looking for it, but your clues to where the location of the Ashen Tome might be was in a land known as Barovia, or at least one of the plains of dread. And you do recall Barovia being one of those plains. Maybe not the village, but something like to that effect. If you guys notice, in the top left, you guys are obviously beyond this gate now, but in the top left, in the far distance, on a massive cliff, there are bats and lightning and everything like that, and also a huge castle of some sort, clearly and most likely based on Kiani finding that signpost. is Castle Ravenloft itself. Yeah.
Well, did we want to head into town here rather than just sitting out in the rain?
I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
I agree.
The town? Are you talking about the castle?
No, the town. It should be
Oh,
in
Village
here.
of Barovia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, let us go to Village of Barovia.
Yeah, that castle looks a bit ominous, so let's avoid that for now.
Yes, I have a strong sense from that castle that it is not friendly.
I might need to go there.
What are you talking about? In no way will you ever go to Castle Ravenloft in the campaign setting once known as Ravenloft.
I'm sure we will never need to go there.
I'm sure there's a good library there with lots of information. I really love
I'm
a good
sure
library
there
with
is.
lots of information.
I'm sure there's,
True story. True story.
I'm sure there's plenty of treasures too.
So my presumption is you guys have
Treasure?
all eaten. Nice. They're exactly right, Grimwald. I'm sure there's lots of treasure in all those halls. My assumption is that you guys have eaten. You're willing to move as you guys are right now. What do you guys do as you travel? Actually, I should start with this. How are you guys traveling? What is your order of travel? I'll actually bring this up now since I had it up. This is how I have you.
I
Obviously,
feel like
you're all,
Zoltan is our fearless leader right now.
this is
The
just
Dark
my
Lord.
one character that this is more of like representative of your whole party, essentially. So what I can do is actually go first person with this and look around.
Oh, that's cool.
Cool, yeah.
So this
That
will be
is so
representing the
cool.
whole party movement, sort of thing. But yeah, in the meantime, this is what you guys essentially. Grimbold is obviously a tiny fella. He's about half the size of Zoltan, standing of all of what 3'1" did we say, or something like that?
Yeah, 3-1.
That's literally
Yeah.
half my height.
Yeah, exactly half of Zoltan's height. So I
We can
tried to-
all carry him individually.
pretty much, yeah.
Hop on my back. I got you.
All right.
If you
Give the
guys notice,
halfling some respect. He's full grown.
if you guys notice, I've made your character dials with the actual cards that you guys are represented by.
That is
as
really
well.
cool.
So
I like it.
yeah, so how do you guys, or where do you guys position yourselves as you walk? This is just for my own future knowledge in case, let's say you get ambushed, which I'm not going to ambush you right away. Don't worry. Keyword right away. But
no.
how would
I'm
you
happy
position
to trudge out
yourself?
front. Yeah,
You're
I'm
out front?
happy to lead the party, unless if we want to have Kiani kind of scouting ahead or something.
Okay.
Or we could have our rogue scouting
Yeah.
ahead.
I don't
who's
know.
really injured.
What's more in Kiani's character?
Yanni, you want to be more of the front man, like kind of stealthying ahead of time kind of thing?
Yeah, I could do that.
All right. How far ahead would you
He
normally
is
walk?
faster.
Yeah, you are a fast son of a gun. So, how much further ahead would you normally go? Do you think about like say 30 feet, 40 feet, something like that?
Well, let's just do it. Let's just go to 40 feet.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're pretty much way out ahead. So each one of these blocks, for the record, I do have the grid on, so we just know tactically what it is 5 feet. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Look at that. You'd think I'd kind of have a decent idea of what spatial things are.
On the road or off to the side? Or
Yeah, if you wanted to, because you actually get no, I believe you don't get any movement penalties for going actually in the forest itself. You don't have to be out in the open. I can actually put you like in the forest kind of area.
because you need partial cover to hide, I think.
That's correct. Yeah. So did you want to do that, Adam?
Yes. What was
Just sort of like on a standard like you guys are traveling together kind of thing. Are you sort of ahead and then just off in the actual forest, not on the road itself?
I'll just stay on the road because since we're in an unknown area, I don't want to get lost or maybe get captured or
Yep.
So I'll stay with everybody.
And I would say that because of the area that you are in, as long as there is mist, it is counted as lightly obscured. And because of Kiani being a wood elf, you just automatically can hide. That's your ability.
Even in the open?
Even in the open, as long as
Because
it's
of the mist?
lightly obscured. So because Barovia is by definition lightly obscured almost all the damn time, you can hide whenever you want. And
Sounds good.
so I'll just periodically ask you for a roll if I think it's going to come up. Otherwise, what I'll do is I'll assume you are rolling a 10. It's what we used to call a take a 10, which they don't really have that rule necessarily here, but I like it. And so taking 10 would give you a roll of 10 automatically. And since you have a +5, it means that you're always essentially moving at a 15 roll, unless I ask you specifically. So,
Okay.
yeah. It's a little easier with travel, so we don't keep getting you guys to roll every time kind of thing. Lunaris, you're the opposite. You are loud as freaking hell most of the time because you're chaining away all the time. Are you in the front, in the back? Where would you like to be positioned?
Probably the middle. Probably let Zoltan be up ahead of me.
Okay. So Grimbold, Jax, where would you guys like to be? I'm gonna put you back here.
I would definitely be in the back since I'm the tiniest.
Okay. So
And
behind
off
or
to
around?
the forest area.
Like over here. Okay, so you can be sort of sneaky.
Yeah.
Jax.
I feel like if you were to position me, I'd probably be more oh god.
Sorry.
more if like not fully in the shadows, but not in the middle either. Like kind of where you got me right now, but a little forward.
Okay, so kind of like
Yeah.
so.
About right there.
All
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I'll just, for simplicity's sake, say you are one square away from one another, effectively like this.
Okay.
Okay.
If that just for my own tactical thing, that way everybody's one square away. And you are way the hell up here, so you get to be the first one to see anything, Mister.
Mr. Sneaky
Yanni.
Pants.
And at that, we've gone for an hour and a half because our sessions are 3 to 4 hours on average. We'll take a break here, grab snacks, drinks, whatever you want, take a restroom break. And yeah, I'll do the same. Recording. Let's go. The journey is a dismal one, with the clouds overhead casting a perpetual gray pall over the landscape. Your progress is slowed by muddy ground and the occasional fallen tree blocking the path. Having already been through quite an ordeal, what with injuries from wolves or falls, or burdened by the loss that you have of friends or people who are helping you, you find the mist and the bouts of drizzle more than a little taxing. Hours go by, seemingly endless in their moments of alienation, and even those who know for certain that feeling that you're no longer in the realm from which you hail from is almost oppressive. The trees around you seem taller and darker. The air is heavy with this otherworldly mist suffocating in its seeming omnipresence. Something up here. Quite suddenly, over perhaps a matter of minutes, the sky lifts slightly, and the sun struggles through the overcast. You can tell that it's basically dusk at this point, maybe 5, 6 o'clock our time. Excuse me. The way before you becomes straighter for several hundred feet. Though the forest tightens around you, the mist lessens and signs of civilization appear as a wrought iron fence can be seen through the foliage on your right. Somewhere in here. I don't have it all the way through. It's there, trust me. Not far in the distance, the sound of distant children laughing strikes at odds with the gloomy atmosphere that
That didn't
pervades the
sound
realm.
like children. That sounded like chickens.
Did it? Let's try again.
Okay, that's at the end there.
That's-
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the other one's pretty low. It's far away, so that's why it sounds low.
Okay. They sound like chickens. Okay.
Yep.
No, it's not chickens. Leave me alone. No,
I don't
no,
need
it's
chicken
good.
here.
That's good. It's good. Yeah, so you hear the sound of laughter of children striking at odds with the atmosphere. So yeah, Kiani, you're the first one to kind of pick up on it. And what do you do? Do you like just progress? Do you fall back to talk to the rest of the folks?
Probably fall back to notify everybody that you hear a noise, and could be children, could be anything.
Chickens.
Could be chickens. Basically, to alert everybody that there is life somewhere near.
Yeah, once he kind of picks it up and you guys kind of get closer and everything, you definitely hear it. For sure.
Okay, it's getting louder.
But yeah, this is essentially what you guys will see at some point. As you get nearer the sounds of laughter.
Michael, do you mind changing it so we can see this
Yes.
kind of like in a larger screen format?
Sounds. Yeah, sorry.
Thank you. Not that we don't want to see your beautiful bald head.
No,
but
it's good. It's good. Thank you. I actually forgot that I was even on that screen. Yeah, so as you get near the sounds of laughter, a wrought iron gate with hinges on each side fills a stone archway. The gate is unlocked and pulled wide open. Unlit oil lamps hang from the portico ceiling by chains. Beside the entrance is a worn sign with fanciful writing burned into it, which reads, Durst Manor. The building beyond appears to be generations old, but relatively well maintained, with cobblestones leading up the pass where a less maintained stable is nestled within the tree line that surrounds the estate. Despite the ominous atmosphere, there is something comforting about the sight of the sturdy stone walls and the warm glow of light emanating from the windows. I'll just give you a quick show of what this essentially would look like. Very large. So I can only do one floor, or rather I only had time to do one floor, but you can imagine this as like a very large estate that looks something to that effect over here. And there's also a stable in the back over there kind of thing. Are you guys being stealthy about this? Are you guys just walking up to peer over here? I'll assume that you guys stop around here.
Well, we were looking for the tavern originally.
Yep.
And so this is like not a tavern. It's mostly like a town.
Yeah, so what you would assume this is like on the path towards the village. You can't see it inside or anything. There's still quite a few trees down the ways and everything like that. But this is probably like a homestead or a wealthy estate that's on the way to the town, essentially.
Okay.
Have we caught up to Adam here?
Yeah, he had pulled back and kind of mentioned
Okay,
to you
gotcha.
guys.
I missed that part. Thank you.
Yep.
So what I'm going to do is I will, since I'm the stealthy one, I'm going to do the stealth, but also investigate.
Sure.
So I wonder, I should just, and I wonder which one would be best to roll.
So so the investigation skill, just to give you a little description, when you click on it, it'll actually pop up the window, and it'll kind of give you an idea of what that's for. So for me, it says,
okay.
when you look around for the clues and make deductions based on those clues, you make an intelligence investigation check. You might deduce the location of a hidden object, discern from the appearance of a wound what kind of weapon was dealt to it, or determine the weakest point in the tunnel that could cause it to collapse. Pouring through ancient scrolls in search of a hidden fragment of knowledge might also call for an intelligent investigation. So in this case, what I would say is think Sherlock Holmesy is what an investigation is. He's looking around, he's trying to deduce, clues or piece things together. So you're certainly welcome to do it, and I can give you what information I can based on it. But yeah.
Okay, I'm going to do investigation. It seems to be more.
Cool.
Go ahead and roll.
Yeah.
And I'll relay that information to everybody of what I found.
That's good.
Got a 6. How much?
Yeah, so from what you can tell is essentially this is essentially what I gave you already. It's a wealthy estate of some kind. For you, it's kind of alien. The architecture is very strange. You're not too commonly known with iron bars and weapons and stuff like that necessarily, but at least in this type of craftsmanship. And yeah, it sounds like there might be children playing somewhere in this courtyard, from what you can tell. That's pretty much all you
We
can
wouldn't
figure.
happen to see any large like guard dogs or anything, any dogs of any sort, or I don't know any other animals around here keeping a lookout.
You are all perfectly capable of rolling a perception check if you want to see if there's anything more kind of lurky. Sure.
Because the gate's open, so pretty much
Yep, it's
inviting.
wide open.
13 for
I
perception.
got a 13 as perception as well.
That means 26 when we put them together.
Sure, yeah. It's all
Perfect.
26.
Yes. I like it.
I only got a 7, so I'm 7.
I got an 8.
We don't need those rolls.
You guys have great rolls when it really, really, really matters. So, yeah, you don't see anything too crazy. I would say that as you kind of are peering through this gate here, I'll say that you guys are being a little bit more stealthy, mainly Kiani for the most part. Nobody's kind of seeing you yet, but you see a couple of kids run by, and I'll just give you a quick show of what they look like here.
Excuse me.
So yeah.
Okay.
Let's see here. Yeah, as you approach, you catch a glimpse of two children, a young boy and a girl a few years older than him, playing tag together around a large oak tree. Their laughter cuts through the dismal surroundings, and it's a welcome sound, a small glimmer of hope in an otherwise dreary and foreboding land. They
Would
don't
I be
appear
able to
to notice you.
Sorry,
yet.
go ahead.
No, you're fine.
Would I be able to do an investigation on the building just with my carpentry and building skills to see if it's anything suspicious or if it's still in livable shape here?
Yeah, sure. Yep. Go ahead. I'll even give you advantage in terms of like
Sounds good.
that kind of stuff.
21.
Nice. Yeah, so it looks like a really, really nice house. It looks like it's probably, from what you can tell of some of the woodwork, although it's mostly stone, it's probably like been there for at least 3 generations, likely a family home. It's a very large estate, like almost unreasonably large. So you would expect there to be maybe 15 people living there, or at least some servants and everything like that, based on how it's a four-story building essentially. But yeah, it is quite extravagant. So far, it's pretty. Yeah.
Because our goal is to get to the tavern to have a beer. So do we continue investigating this place, even though it seems to be safe with the door open, and maybe we can come back, or do we venture out and have a beer and rest?
I don't see any particular reason why we need to stop here quite at the moment.
I also don't see a reason to stop.
I can try and sense evil. I'll do it.
Sure.
That
Let's do
sounds
it.
like a plan to me.
Is there any evil in that house?
Go ahead and read me the description of or are you casting
It's divine sense. As an
Divine
action,
sense.
I can detect celestial fiend and undead things and spell. It says sense anything affected by the
Yeah.
hollow spell.
You do get a sense of foreboding. You can't quite tell, looking specifically at anything inside. The children, there's something about them that doesn't seem right. You can't quite tell. But the house itself seems strange when you look at it. You get an overwhelming sense that it's not exactly what it should be. but something's kind of distorting your ability to get anything clearer than a vague sense of, that looks very strange.
Okay. Not quite as evil as the castle we saw, but there could
Well,
be something.
I suppose if you want to, yeah, so you wouldn't necessarily get any divine evil from it necessarily, but it is on a 1,000-foot cliff with, lightning and,
Yeah,
it is crazy
exactly.
looking. So yeah, sure. You can make the assumption that it's evil, sure.
Exactly. We'll definitely assume. All right. But no, I don't know. I don't see any reason why we need to bother these people right now.
Mm-hmm.
I would still really like to change clothes.
Okay.
Yeah, it is getting to be later at night too. You have probably a couple hours before sunset at best.
Let's ask the people in town of this place, see if they have any more information on these people.
Do you, Lunaris, are you suspicious of this estate, and you'd rather us stay away from it? That's the sense that I'm getting from you? Is that true?
I believe you may be correct in that. Just right now, there's something fishy about it, but it's not something that concerns us right at this moment.
Sounds good.
Okay, let's move on then, if we're all in agreement, and we can hopefully find an inn for Jax to be able to find a change of clothes. We don't want her getting hypothermia or anything out here.
Okay. Sounds good. Jax, you're okay with this?
Yes, I would like to change, please.
Okay. Sorry, so you're okay for going for town? Perfect. So as you guys are kind of walking along, you do make enough noise, or Lunaris in particular makes enough noise, that the children kind of run up and are sort of at these bars right here. And the little boy, kind of glares a little bit at you, like suspicious. He has a doll in his hands, which I actually didn't show you guys, but I'll bring it up here. And the little girl, she's probably about maybe 11, 12, just before sort of getting to womanhood type of thing. And she goes, "Oh, hello."
Hello.
Yes, good evening, or morning, whatever time of day it is here.
It is definitely
What's your name? That sound like it.
Jax just kind of stands back looking at them, looking at the doll like, that's cute.
Yeah. The boy kind of ignores you and says, "Who are you? What do you want?" Kind of eyeing you suspiciously. And then the girl kind of rolls her eyes and kind of shushes her brothers like, "Don't be rude, Thorn. They look friendly enough." Kind of turning to you guys, she goes, "I'm Rosvalda Durst, and this is my brother, Thornboldt. But you can call us Rose and Thorn. Everyone does. We live in that big house over there." Thornboldt kind of grunts non-committally, but Rosvalda kind of chirps, about how it's called Durst Manor, and it's, their parents, are farmers or own a big plantation, everything like that. And he's like, but they stay behind their thing, or whatever.
Don't worry, we're not here. We're not intending on disturbing you. We're just headed through to the village to hit the tavern up.
"Oh, you're going to Barovia? Well, that's cool." Or she wouldn't say cool. That sounds fine. Boy, you guys are really brave for adventuring at night. And the little boy kind of smirks at that, like, brave. Yeah, right. Kind of. He doesn't say that, but
Have you not seen this group of adventurers? Travel alone might be adventurous, but when we are together, there's nothing that can separate us.
Yeah, the little boy kind of scoffs at what you say, and she kind of like sizes you guys up and is like, well, we've seen adventurers before, and you know, we have these walls to protect us, and you know, father and mother, you know, say that, you know, there's been famines. Well, she wouldn't say that. She'd probably say more like food has been scarce lately. They feed us well enough with what they can, but we've had to let go a lot of our staff or our servants lately. All that works here now is Margaret, but yeah, you know, apparently there's been attacks on from wolves and stuff like that, and that's why we have these walls here. But yeah, you guys look very, very, very brave. They usually only come out at night, though.
Young child, these wolves that you speak of, are they very large animals?
Well, you know, we aren't allowed to play out at night. Actually, it's getting kind of dark now. I'm sure Margaret will want us inside soon, but I've never really seen any myself. But I've heard stories. Sometimes I listen to my parents and their friends who come over talking about how dangerous the wolves can be, and we're not really supposed to know about that sort of thing, though. And then Thorn kind of goes, "Well, I want to be an adventurer. I could do it. I could fight wolves." And he kind of pulls out a stick, like a sort of a wooden sword, like maybe about the size of your dagger there, Grimbold.
Yes, I'm sure you would be able to, young man.
I admire your courage.
Speaking of wolves, Kia Ani, have you, in your land of Trolt, have you fought many wolves or similar beasts?
Yes, I have fought many wolves and beasts in my time, so I'm prepared for anything.
I do believe that the wolves that the children speak of, I have encountered previously.
Would you be concerned for us? Sorry, go ahead.
I'm concerned about these wolves.
I would be concerned about anything if I was your size as well.
As you should be.
Oh. Jax is just kind of standing there like, grimacing at the drama that she sees unfolding. Like, oh.
Rosvalda says, I heard tell of this one wolf who apparently is not a real wolf. He's a monster. And he's like as big as like 2 horses or something like that. And that's the one that people are the most scared of. Apparently it's I don't know. They use a weird word for him, but it's I can't quite remember what it's called. A fire wolf or something.
A fire wolf?
Fire.
Interesting. Well, if these wolves come out at night, should we not get moving before it gets dark?
Yes, let's move.
Let's move.
Let's move.
Good luck. It is,
Children.
I think. Good luck. I wish you guys safe travels. I do think it's quite a ways to town. It used to take us half a day when we went with our father in the carriage.
A half a day from here to get to town.
In a carriage.
Ew. Well, do you know of anywhere nearby that we could stay while it's dark for the night then?
Thorn kind of like, you know, puts his finger to his lips and he's like, kind of shakes his head. He's like, well, Margaret probably would say, you know, we should have more visitors. She might want them to stay. And he kind of like crosses his arms and was like, you might be able to stay with us. We've had adventurers here before.
We'll be sure to pay for any services that you provide us.
Whoa.
She looks kind of excited. Thorn looks really like huffy about it. He looks very defensive. You can't quite tell if he's trying to like protect. He seems like he's wanting to be a bit of an adventurer himself, but he's the man of the house, kind of is what it's coming off as. But before he can really stop her, she kind of yells out, Margaret, Margaret, there's adventurers here. Let's see here. Show you what. Yeah, so do you guys want to at least see this Margaret person, or do you guys keep going?
I feel like if it's a long trip to town from here, we don't want to get stuck in the dark. Regardless of wolves, we don't want to be stuck in the dark.
Knowing
They have clothes for you.
if it took 6 hours by basically horseback is essentially what it is. It's going to take you guys at least 9 to get there. From if you can just deduce quickly.
Yeah. I concur. I know firsthand what these wolves are like. I'm lucky to have my life. I don't want to be caught out there at night again.
As you guys are basically here looking through the
And I definitely do not want to see any wolves.
you guys are kind of looking through here, and at the front of the door, which is kind of wide open now. It's been open the whole time actually. It only takes a few moments before a comely young woman with red hair and green eyes, likely in her mid-20s, comes out of the open doorway of the manor. She has a warm and welcoming demeanor, though is also quizzical to see her group just standing behind those gates near the bars, talking to the children. She is dressed in a simple but tidy clothing, clearly servant's attire, and appears to be wiping her gown of flour from baking. She basically kind of walks up to you guys, kind of peering around the gate, not necessarily coming through or anything, but kind of right from here. Sorry, I realize you guys are having half a screen. I keep forgetting about that. Oh, hello there. May I help you?
We don't mean to put you out, but these children have been telling us that it's not safe to stay out past dark here. Even if we were able to have some space in your stables with some hay to roll up on, we'd be more than pleased.
Oh. Well, my master and mistress are gone right now, but they have had guests before. You seem reasonable enough. The children, well, one of the children seemed to like you. I'm sure we have many guest quarters here. They should be around soon. Dinner is almost on the table. Yes, I suppose it wouldn't be too much trouble. It is getting late. It is very dangerous in these parts. Basically, yeah, she was like, won't you come in?
Great. Thank you. Jax is still eyeing the cool little voodoo looking doll that this boy is holding.
Yeah, it's kicking around there. He's kind of got it tucked under his arm, kind of protectively, and yeah, he's definitely kind of giving. He's still mean mugging you and everything like that, but he's kind of reserved to the fact that you guys are coming in, type of thing. Let me just quickly.
Food on the table. Let me in.
She sort of smiles at you. Oh dear, I have to admit I haven't seen one of your kind in some time. I thought you were a child. I apologize. Okay. Perfect. All right. So yeah, you guys are welcomed in. So this is the oak tree they were kind of playing around and everything like that. Although I don't think it's actually an oak in the game. It's a fairly large estate. There's a little pond here. And yeah, obviously that's the barn back there. You are certainly welcome to come on in. She kind of goes ahead of you, and I think I realize that I have a little glitch here, so I have to do this to get them through the door. I put way too much work into this stupid thing, but it won't let me actually go through the door because I have this archway is like against a solid object, and so I made it like I've done way too much to this thing. Yeah, it looks pretty cool, I have to say, for myself.
It's great.
So let me just quickly give you this description as you walk in. I need to go to the next page here. Okay, as you guys come in, wall-mounted lamps are set around the room into ornately carved walls. Providing even more lighting is a highly decorative chandelier hanging from the ceiling by chains. Hanging on the south wall of the foyer is a shield emblazoned with a coat of arms, a stylized golden windmill on a red field, flanked by framed portraits of the home's aristocrats labeled Mr. Gustav and Mrs. Elizabeth Durst. So this is Gustav. This is the shield. And this is the wife, Elizabeth.
So Jack looks around and then... So Jax kind of looks around and looks at the children and says, "Where did you say your parents were?"
Oh, they went into town yesterday and were... this is probably actually what Margaret is saying, specifically. The Dursts went into town the day before for some errands with some friends. There are a few estate meetings that were meant to be had. There's been she kind of lowers her voice, a famine as of late, and they've been discussing what to do about it. But yes, they were supposed to be coming a few hours ago. You don't expect them to be tarrying too long, as it is getting late, and Mr. Durst is a reasonable man.
Well, is there anything we can do to help you prepare for dinner or anything?
She's like, I wouldn't have any of it. No, not at all. Come, warm yourselves by the fire. On the north wall, as you guys are walking in, are the portraits of the children, Rosvalda and Thornboldt. And in the center is a newer portrait, different in style and featuring a newborn child in the arms of Mr. Durst. The title simply reads, The Durst Family. This is what, obviously, Rose looks like, which is the picture I showed you.
So wait, there's another child in the picture?
Yeah, let's the family.
There's a baby in the arms of Mr. Durst there.
Oh, okay. Do you guys have another little brother or sister?
Thornboldt kind of looks over his shoulder and sees the painting. He's like, that's Walter. And that's all he says. And the girl doesn't say anything. Margaret kind of, coughs and seems a little uncomfortable about the description. Like, please, the fire is warm. Come on in. I don't have figures for them, sorry.
No, it's fine.
This is clearly an ornate kind of area. So mahogany framed double doors. You would know it's mahogany pretty much right away, Zoltan. They lead from the foyer.
In real life too.
Of course you would. He has his own business, by the way. He's a carpenter. So. They lead from the foyer to the main hall with a set of stained glass windows essentially set to them, although I don't have those in assets yet. This wide hall runs the width of the house with a black marble fireplace at one end and a sweeping red marble staircase at the other. Mounted on the wall above the fireplace is a longsword with a windmill cameo worked into the hilt. The wood-paneled walls are ornately sculpted with finely detailed images of various flora, fauna, and people. This is kind of what you guys are seeing here. This is the red, marble staircase.
Okay. Your roof needs some work, bud.
I wasn't allowed to put one on there in time. That's okay. It took me a long time to actually make this thing, so.
I can see that.
Yeah.
So Jax goes and sits by the fire and kind of beckons the children to come over. She wants to hang out with them and maybe see if she can play with the doll.
Sure. So Rosvalda kind of sits down, like very ladylike, kind of scoops her dress under her legs and sort of sits sideways. And she's willing to like pick over you, and she kind of like strokes your hair, very friendly little girl, and says, I absolutely think you're so beautiful, kind of thing. And she's like, boy, you sure have had some troubles, it seems. And she kind of pokes a hole. It's like, I don't know if Mother would allow, but she does have lots of clothes upstairs.
That would be wonderful, Rosvalda. Thank you.
Thorn is basically like 20 feet away from all of you. He's kind of over here around this sort of corner where there's two doors, somewhere in here.
And then
Yeah, go ahead.
can Lunaris do a like an evil check, or like kind of like see if there's any kind of danger lurking or somebody?
I guess I was kind of far away before, but now that I'm inside the house, that is not a bad idea. Let's do it. So my third out of the fourth. I'll only have one left after this, but let's do it.
I do have him on. I just been kind of juggling there. Scatman.
Okay, not a problem.
Yeah, no worries. Let's see here. Yeah, you get the much more overwhelming sense that you are in a place that is wrong. It is you don't know what the source is specifically, but you would say the entire place itself is like casting an entire aura that is flooding your senses. It does have a marker of undead about it.
Does he share this, or do they share this with the group?
Well, I don't necessarily want to let the people know that we're on to them or anything.
Understandable.
But you can give us a nod, like a notable nod, yet secretly.
Well, we don't know each other well enough, though, to pick up on
Yeah.
those cues.
I mean,
Exactly.
I guess what we could do is, after you have read the room, that you make a face.
How about this?
Okay,
Sorry,
okay.
go ahead. Go ahead and finish. Go ahead and finish. Sorry.
Oh, okay, I was saying, like, you make a gesture of or some kind of reaction to what you, and some of us who are able to pick up on what that may be, maybe might not be able to pick it up at all, but be able to like read the room or read what you're essentially doing. So
Okay. So I guess what this looks like is that I have my holy symbol out, and I'm like grasping into my hand and I'm not letting it go, kind of thing.
Okay.
Just sort of like looking around. Kind of
Let's
thing.
let everybody roll both a perception and a insight check. We'll go with that.
I have an
as you guys-
11 for perception and 20 for insight.
Okay,
Wow.
perfect.
I have an 11 for perception. I should have done them both at the same time, but
Oh, I did the wrong one. I got a 5 for perception.
Okay.
10 for perception and 20 for insight.
Oh,
All right.
20 plus whatever.
So as you're kind of doing this, basically Margaret opens this door over here. It's not that door, sorry. This door. Which you can kind of. Yeah, 16, perfect. You get a brief glimpse of a kitchen that she goes into. She's like, dinner is set once the Dursts arrived. We've set some extra in case they bring family from friends from the estates that are also local in town. But yes, I do have a few more things to do. Thorn quickly turns to Margaret and says, I want sweets. I'm hungry now. And is like, you can't have sweets. And then Rosvalda kind of gets up and, walks over and says, oh, please, we don't know when Mother and Father will be back immediately. Can't we have, just some sweet cakes? Maybe some sweet bread? And Thorn, kind of pulls down, is like, yeah, sweetbreads. And she kind of rolls her eyes and, obviously has a love or an endearing care for these children. Is like, very well, but only one each, and not to spoil your dinner, is like, if you excuse me, I'll be right back. And they just kind of retreat into this area and close the door. As this is happening, Jax, you meet eyes with Shanna, and you basically communicate exactly
Jax
the
is Shanna.
truth. Sorry, Jax and Lunaris, I apologize. You guys connect eyes for a second, and Lunaris has their holy symbol gripped tightly. Their eyes are seeing something that you can't see, but their face is broadcasting, holy shit, we need to get the fuck out of here. And I would say that Grimbold, you are perfectly happy in this place. You hear sweet cakes. It sounds like a great idea. You're tempted to kind of yeah, you get kind of tempted to go and follow them, kind of thing. Who rolled above a 12 for their perception here?
That was too short.
I was one
guess-
short.
I forgot to tell you, Michael. 18 insight, 17 perception.
Gotcha. Yeah. Zoltan, you pick up on the same "holy shit, we need to get the fuck out of here" look on Lunaris's face as well. But you also, because you're kind of looking at the walls just a little bit more closer than everybody else, you see something that everybody else appears to have missed, and this gives you even more of a "let's get the fuck out of here" feeling.
So I will reflect that look in my face as well.
Yeah. So,
Anyways, please go ahead and describe there.
Yeah, you three for sure. What did you get for your perception check, Kiani?
Perception checks. I got 11.
Okay. So, and your insight was?
Insight was a 6.
Okay. Yeah, so you and Grimbold are kind of like, this is actually a really nice place, and it is warm, and you've been cold as fuck the whole time that you've been here. It's been drizzly. It is a very welcoming place to you guys, and it seems perfectly fine. You guys are off on your own la la land, enjoying the fire,
And
dreaming
Jax
of sweet
needs
bread.
a new pair of underwear, so definitely.
Yeah, so Zoltan, as you're kind of just, not only just picking up on what's going on with Jax and Lunaris at the moment, you happen to look over and you're kind of leaning against a wall, and you look a little closer at the images that are carved into the wall. And it's not just flowers, and it's not just wooded areas, and it's not just people. It is clear images of famine and skeletons and death, starving people clawing at each other's stomachs, children, babies being eaten. And yeah, it goes throughout this entire wall, crawling all the way up the stairs. It's clearly, now that you see it, you can't unsee it. It is everywhere. And this door shuts.
Thanks.
And that door shuts.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So, what do you guys do?
Where was the entrance again?
To the
Where'd
left,
we come from?
over here.
Let's
Here, I'll
Can we
do
find
this
it
right
from that?
quick. So this door shuts. Oops. And this door shuts.
the creepy footsteps.
Yes, I was about to say. Once in a while, you do hear the noise of like an empty hall, maybe footsteps upstairs. You can't quite tell exactly where they're coming from, but yeah, it is a little ominous,
really
particularly to
familiar.
you and to Jax and to Lunaris. Grimbold and Kiani, you guys don't really get anything quite yet, but yeah.
And is that door shut, or is it locked?
This door has
or are we
this,
able to...
this door looks like it has shut on you. You guys don't
Okay.
know when it shut or how it shut, but as you go and turn, you realize it's shut, or it has been shut. There's also, as you notice, if you look closely, this is latched, closed, and locked. You didn't hear anything, you didn't see anything close or latch it. It just looks like it's been closed the whole time.
Okay, I'll walk over there and attempt to open that, unlock it, do whatever I have to do to release us from here.
Yeah, I mean, it locks from the inside, so you're capable of opening it, and then you realize that, oh, that one is locked as well. Or rather, it's closed as well.
Would you guys like to follow me, and we can depart to town?
But I thought we were getting food.
We will be getting food. Don't worry, we'll be getting food very soon.
Graham, I think we need to
This way.
leave.
Okay. Yeah, you guys are certainly, well, whoever wants to can kind of go. As you get to this door, however, it appears to be bolted shut on the floor down here, if you can see. And yeah, as you go to open it, it is held quite fast.
No way of opening that.
You can go ahead and try. Give me a strength check, athletics. The lock, it doesn't appear to be locked for the record. It's
I'll
just,
take a 7.
okay. Yeah, it shouldn't take much strength. As you kind of go to pull it, you realize as you look closely, it's not like shunked down that you can just pull it up again. It actually looks like it's been welded into the ground. Like it is a part of the floor somehow.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we are stuck here.
There's got to be a way to get this door open.
Am I able to use any of my carpentry skills to investigate this door? See if there's any weak points?
Sure.
Guys, I have a crowbar.
Perfect. Let me find a weak spot and you can try to open that door for us. Investigation. 24.
Nice.
4. Yeah, so as you kind of peer outside, in particular, there's like a crack through the wall. You're noticing that the gates that you came through have shut as well. The wall that was once 15 feet is now 30 feet up in the air. And yeah, the clouds are, it's starting to get darker and darker. Speaking of which, do this now. A little darker outside.
Nice.
Ooh.
And yeah, you in terms of the actual like looking at the woodwork of this door, it's still 2 separate doors. The thickness suggests that it probably would take at least a 25 DC, like even for mechanic reasons, is about 25 to actually get the doors forced open. So yeah, it will take quite a bit of work to get it open for sure, but it is possible to break through it.
I don't know if we should. Wow, there he rolled for a 24.
That was just for me investigating it. I wasn't trying to open that up there.
So I think we should not try to use all our resources to get this door open, because the next door and the gate, as we can see, is higher. So we're going to be spending more resources trying to get to that in itself. So I think we should investigate the building or venture into the building, because we have not seeked danger. We feel endangered because everything's locked up, but we have not figured out what.
Yeah, and they don't know we're onto them yet.
Lunaris, did you want to like explain what you're particularly feeling for the rest of the group, just out of curiosity?
Sure. Now, like, I mean, I imagine that we probably would have waved everyone into that first room. And like I kind of keep my voice down.
Yeah, I'm assuming. I'm kind of assuming you guys are sticking together until you tell me otherwise. If one person wants to go off on their own, I'll do that. But just for the most part, I'm going to assume you're.
And
I feel like I got dragged over here.
I more or less just say, I sense death around us.
I saw
coming.
I saw death in the wall paneling.
Yeah, as soon as you... Oops. I won't do that. I'm glad I can do a Control-Z to get things. As soon as you tell them that, if anybody who comes back in this room, as you're looking around the wall, it's hard to believe that you missed it at first. It is like a tapestry woven in wood of just a scene of constant cannibalism and famine and death throughout this entire room. The whole hall is basically telling the story of, terrible suffering and horror. It still, like, if you just listen to your senses, for the most part, regardless of Lunaris, you know what you feel. You know that that sense is kind of pervading you. This place is wrong. If you guys just feel the fire, if you look at the wood, if you look at the carpet, if you look at the marble, if you look at the longsword on this thing here, it looks solid. It looks really well maintained. The fire is warm. There's wood here. You can pick it up and smell it. It seems normal. It seems glorious, actually. It's great. But as soon as you look at those walls, or Lunaris, as soon as you kind of reminisce about what you just felt, it is definitely wrong here.
Can I use detect magic just in general, or does it have to be on a specific object?
Yeah, good question. I don't know. Let's find out. Let's bring it up. Let's see here. Spells. Just for my own knowledge, I'll read it out, if that's okay.
Yeah.
For the duration, which is 10
minutes.
10 minutes, concentration 10 minutes. You sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. If you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic. Then you learn its school of magic, if any. The spell can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt. So you have 10 minutes of sight.
Are you able to pinpoint specifically where the strongest feeling of foreboding is coming from?
I know the location of Celestial Fiend Undead within 60 feet. So where is the strongest sense of dread coming from?
Below
I'm pretty
you.
sure there's dread all around us.
Yeah, it's I'll say like to because you've already given me a couple of things. I'll even though it's not technically active the second. The more you think about it, because it was overwhelming, it's like an instant sense of like basically it's asking somebody in the ocean how wet the rain is.
Okay.
Right. So
Okay.
like to some degree but it's sort of reversed, right? It's like, okay, it's been pouring rain. This whole place has been pouring rain, but there's an ocean below my feet. Is essentially the sense of gravitas that he gets in terms of the location of undead. There's something really wrong underneath of him.
Okay.
Her, them. Whatever.
Okay.
Non-binary, but yeah. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, I kind of want to use detect magic to see if I can find a source of anything, or if there's any kind of magic being used around us, maybe to keep the doors shut or anything,
Sure. Yep. Sounds good. Similarly to in a completely different way. When you use detect magic, it's like you put a lens on that actually gives you sort of like the ability to move around and see faint auras, almost like you're putting goggles or something like that. In a similar sense, you are seeing things for what they are a little bit differently, and what it gives you is the school of magic is necromantic in nature. The entire place sort of floods you, and you're not blinded necessarily, but you are really shocked at just how much the whole thing is magical.
Okay.
It's got senses like it pervades necromantic and illusion magic on a sort of subtle subtle level. You also happen to get a fairly strong magical something coming from this door over here.
Where they went in?
Yeah, it seems like there's something magical in behind here.
Okay. Okay. So I convey that to the group that there's a specific strong magical energy coming from that direction.
Well, unfortunately, it looks like we're not getting out.
Not
When
easily,
we came
anyway.
in. So maybe what you detected at that source is what's blocking us from escaping. So we might need to follow that. Just using some logic here. What do we say about that?
Well, given Lunaris' state, I'm not thrilled about it, but
Neither am I. Neither am I. No.
we've got to find a way out of here, though.
It sounds like what we are seeing is not actually what is around us.
Yep.
Maybe some sort of illusion magic or something.
It would seem like these carvings, these depictions on the wall are of what actually happened, whereas everything else is just an illusion to make us be feeling better about what's going on here.
Was there any other doors, or was that just the only door?
Yep. So there's one here. There's one here into the wall. There's two double doors here across from you. There is another one in the
One we came
wall
back.
right here. This is where you came from.
Oh, okay.
And then there's the staircase going up.
Upstairs.
Yeah. So there's quite a
Okay.
few doors. Yep. So you have the run of the place.
And I think we know where the kitchen is, pretty
Yeah.
much.
So clearly there's a kitchen or something back on this door here.
And then the magical door was that darker one to the left of it?
Yeah. Right here.
Okay.
Can you see my mouse? Just out of curiosity.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Just making sure.
What are our thoughts on systematically going through these doors? Starting at the one to the right of where we entered, just to make sure there's nothing.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm concerned about right now, because if there's anything in that room, then I don't want to be fighting on two fronts if we have enemies coming at us from all sides.
Exactly. Yeah, I am with you on that.
All
So
right.
yeah, the door
Yeah.
right next to us.
Sounds good. Just for my own sake, I'm going to put you guys actually in the house and kind of do a top view for now.
Sure.
Just give me 2 seconds to
Go in the house.
do this for a second.
You keep hearing footsteps. I'm like, are they coming back? Are we being attacked?
Yeah,
What's
exactly.
going on?
I need to zoom out for a second so I can go and get you guys. So
I'm more
funny.
concerned about the food.
That's good. Yeah, it's good.
I'm sure you're right.
Halfling staying true to your character. Yep.
It's good. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. I don't want you guys to see it.
Given the depictions on the wall, Grim, I'm not sure there is much food.
Well, I'm sure there's food. It's just not the one you're maybe willing to eat.
Or maybe where the food.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
All right. Sorry, I didn't want to ruin the top-down view of everything. I do technically have the ability to do kind of my own version of Fog of War, but it bogs down my graphics enough that it makes it a little laggier. So I was like, fuck it. It's annoying.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah, Fog of War. I was gonna say.
Fog of War mainly just is good to show what is in full cover and like not visible.
Okay. So you're all here now. You're all here now.
There's no escape.
I mean, teehee.
Why didn't we long rest? We short rest. I should have convinced people to long rest. Why didn't you tell them, Zell? Why were you counting on me?
I'm not gonna tell anybody anything. I'm telling you what's possible. That's all. Okay,
All right, just let everyone know there's no heals right now.
Take a long rest right now. It's fine. We just all
I'll jack
pass
us
out
up
on
a
the
little
floor.
just for your own.
Like, I mean, if we can secure this room and barricade the door, I'd be down.
Oh, well, we can barricade the door. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I have a crowbar.
That's true. That's true.
Well, I do further.
I'll assume Zoltan, you're the first one, kind of going in for the most part.
Sure. Yeah, I will draw both scimitars. Just
Okay.
everything feels wrong.
Perfect. Yep. So you're armed at least. You come in, and it's a very, very nice den. Kind of a man's corner of the house, it seems. The stone and oak this stone and oak paneled room looks like a hunter's den. Mounted at the fireplace is a stag's head, and positioned around the outskirts of the room are 3 stuffed wolves. I only had stone lions to choose from for my assets, so those are wolves for the record.
They're very
Beautiful.
furry wolves. That's all.
We need to get some more assets.
They're coming out with more and more every month, basically. So this is actually in beta, and it's incredibly good for a beta program, I have to say. I got to do a
That's so
lot of
good.
really cool shit for this. So this has kind of been my fun little project for the past month, just fucking around with shit. So yeah. Let's see here. 2 cabinets stand against, 2 padded chairs draped in animal furs face the hearth, with an oak table between them supporting a cask of wine, 2 carved wooden goblets, a pipe rack, and a candelabrum. A chandelier hangs above a cloth-covered table surrounded by 4 chairs. 2 cabinets stand against the walls. The east cabinet sports a lock that, I'm not going to say that, looks like it has something. It's sort of like stained glass in front of it, but you can see some objects sort of locked within. The north cabinet is unlocked. This one here has a bunch of wine kind of in it, different vintages and such. But yeah, there's also it can be opened and everything like that.
Someone
And that's it.
wanted a drink.
So I'll just give you a quick kind of tour here. I tried to replicate everything that the actual campaign sort of described for me.
Yeah,
So-
I can see that, especially with the front room.
So this is what you guys got. Oops, sorry.
I think I would like to see what's in that cabinet beside the 2 lions or the
Sure.
stuff things. I would like
It
to
is
see.
currently locked. You guys are welcome to force it open, or somebody with thieves' tools could conceivably pick the lock.
I can definitely pick the lock.
All right. Go ahead and give me just a straight dexterity check, please.
As everyone shuffles into the room, I'll stay at the door.
Okay. Yeah,
And
whoever wants to
keep
go in
an
the room,
eye.
just let me know.
I'll go in.
I'm already in there, so.
I got a 5.
5. All right. Well, you are currently unsuccessful in opening it. You can take about 10 minutes. It takes you some time. You don't break anything or anything like that, but it takes about 10 minutes at that level to finally get the lock open. It, not your best work, but you do eventually get it open. Sorry, Lunaris. Jax, are you going in, or are you staying out with Lunaris?
I think I'm gonna stay out and listen for the redhead and the children to make sure they're not, returning.
Sure, sounds good. So you crack that lock finally. Takes you quite a while, but inside, as you open up, you find on like these mounts a heavy crossbow, a light crossbow, and a hand crossbow, each with 20 bolts sort of nestled inside. Clearly, this is the weapons cabinet for the hunter of the house. Anybody who wants to can look into the other cabinet over here. There's also like a little window or a little drawer here. And inside, there contains a deck of playing cards as well.
Does anybody else have a light crossbow, or would I be able to grab some of those bolts for myself here?
Grab whatever you want.
I believe I have a crossbow, but I mean, it's not like
We can
if
split
anything is
the
needed,
ammo.
we can't. Yeah, that'd be
You
fine.
you take 20 and I'll take 20.
I have no crossbow, so I can just give them out to everybody.
Sorry, 10 and 10.
10 and 10, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do I add 10 to my stuff? Where do I go for that?
So on your bottom right, or middle right panel there,
Yeah.
there's a tab that is described as an inventory. That's a second or third tab there. And then you can, sorry, give me a second. Mine's a little different than yours. For some reason, my
That's okay.
screen is funky. I might put this over here.
Click on crossbow bolt and
And on the right-hand side, you can up it. So I'm at 30 now total.
That's right.
I'm looking for where it says how many are there. Hold on. Sorry. There it is. Okay. So 30. Okay. Perfect.
Thanks for that. Yeah, so just to give you a heads up of why I'm hesitating on it is I have all your guys' character sheets normally on my left-hand side, but it's giving me like the app version of it rather than the actual full screen window version. And it's really annoying that I can't find everything. So I have to switch everything around here for a second. It's annoying me.
I can help with that too, Michael.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I'd love help with the character sheet stuff because I've
Yeah.
got a lot of windows open here.
Yep. No, I know it can be a lot of work DMing.
I'm still trying to learn the system myself.
It's all good. Okay, perfect. So yeah, other than that, you find what you find in the room, basically. The wine in here, if you go to take a look, tastes like wine. If you kind of quickly taste it, it seems real. The fire is warm. Yeah.
I have
wolves
no
look
intention of imbibing anything from this household.
All right, fair enough.
I'm definitely not drinking it.
But yeah, you guys want to do anything else?
Nothing else of note in here, then I imagine.
Where would you like to go next?
Well, at least we've cleared it. There's no one in there.
Yeah, no one in there.
The next door to the right, I suppose. If that's the consensus.
This one or this one?
So we started
Sorry,
at the main door, and then we went in one to the right. And
Yep.
so let's keep going around in the same direction.
Okay,
So
I guess
those
like
be
kitchen door.
this is the
upstairs.
kitchen over here, or you can go upstairs if you want.
Let's finish downstairs first. Does that sound good to everybody?
Do you want to go to the? This is the
Yeah,
pantry,
there's
or this is the kitchen that they went to. You want to go there first?
Sure.
Or we can. I figured that we would probably like stay away from them. Or do we want to like
It's up to you.
bust into their kitchen?
I would say like investigate the other two doors.
Sure.
That's what I would say. Investigate two other areas.
Let's
before
do
we
that
go.
then.
Okay, sure. Sounds good.
In fact, I'll probably go and stay at that door that they went through, and I'll like hold it shut.
Give me, go ahead and give me a perception check, Lunar.
Okie dokie. Dice. I have a d20 in there. $12 plus.
You
Where
hear
am
somebody laughing inside, and
Mm-hmm.
shit
Okay, so they're still in there.
seems to be. All
Not aware.
right, let's go ahead and do some math here for a second. Oops. All right. This is kind of what you guys are seeing here. So this looks like a dining room with a very nice tapestry on the far right wall here. The centerpiece of this wood-paneled dining room is a carved mahogany table, surrounded by 8 high-back chairs with sculpted armrests and cushioned seats. A crystal chandelier hangs above the table, which is covered with resplendent silverware and crystalware, polished to dazzling shine. Mounted above the fireplace wall, Here we go. Mounted above the marble fireplace is a mahogany-framed painting of an alpine vale. The wall paneling is carved with elegant images of deer among the trees. Red silk drapes cover the windows, and a tapestry depicting hunting dogs and horse-mounted aristocrats chasing after a wolf hangs from an iron rod bolted to the south wall. You guys find a resplendent feast of meats, fruits, and cheeses laid out. Every plate holds morsels of food, and it seems to have only just been recently set for the evening. Jax, because you still have your... I'll say you still have for the next little bit anyway.
Yeah, at least 10
your
minutes.
yeah your magic sight. Everything on this table appears to be both illusion or illusory in magic type as well as necromantic.
Oh, okay. So I would like to relay that to the group that none of the food or anything on the table is real.
Do not let your eyes deceive you.
I love that I can do this too.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
that's really cool.
Yeah, Grimbald in particular.
Yeah, I would assume I'd grab the food.
This smells amazing to you. You are quite hungry, and it is quite glorious looking.
Yes.
Jax,
I
you
definitely grab the food.
Jax reaches over and smacks it out of his hands. Do not eat that.
You gonna put up with that, Grimbald?
But it's supper time.
Do not eat that. I have snacks if we need them. Do not touch the food.
Grimbold, you are right. It is supper time. And if you're touching this, they're going to eat you.
Yeah, so you guys want to do anything else in here?
Does this tapestry say anything? Like, is it similar in nature to the carvings on the wall that are depicting all sorts of debauchery?
What is your perception with no... What's your base perception check?
Let me take a look. My base perception is 10.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Also 10.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like a very nice tapestry for the most part. Doesn't seem on the... Just as, looking at it, doesn't seem too crazy or anything like that. Anybody else have above a 13 as your standard perception? I think
If I yell, "We're here to see the tapestries," does that help at all?
No, sorry. It just doesn't sound enough like Harrison Ford. Sorry.
Okay, no, that's understandable.
I'm gonna roll a perception.
I'll actually say Grimbold and Kiaani. You both, I think, have a fairly high perception
13
check.
and 14. That's right.
Perfect. You guys don't see anything too crazy
I don't
about
see my perception.
it should be just below your saving throw window. There's a
this
passive
has
wisdom, passive intelligence,
Additional
passive
sense. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
senses. They're called your senses.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So this is basically like without you guys asking to look around, or that if you guys don't specifically tell me, oh, I want to look more closely at something like Ian just did, then I'm using these values as your standard to either find something in the area physically, or something about a person who's kind of shifty or something like that, or something in terms of like, oh, I just pick up a clue kind of thing. So that's what those passive things mean.
Grimbald's going to be
Passive
good for that.
Yeah, mine's a 14.
Yeah, so Grimbold, as your dinner roll goes flying across the room, your eyes kind of follow it, forlornly, and then you realize that the walls in this particular room also don't add up to snuff. Now that you kind of are catching a hint here that this is not a very nice place after all. The tapestry as well, you realize that the figures have actually reversed, where before it looks like a hunt for wild animals. and that the horseback people, although it doesn't really look like this, it's just something I made myself. The horseback people and the wolves. It's actually the wolves that are attacking the horsemen, and that they're being mauled to death and jaws around a person's throat and that sort of thing. It's not animated in any way, but it is. You realize, your eyes kind of shift for a second. You realize, oh, actually, the hunters are actually being hunted in this one. So, but yeah.
I share the information that I see with everybody.
Yeah, Zoltan, you realize, like, you kind of take a step back. You were a bit too close to the project for a second. You take a step back and realize what it is, and you're like, oh yeah, that is nasty.
Okay, yeah. Did you say if there were any cabinets in this room? I don't remember.
Nope. No, you just basically have some silk
I don't know.
drapes. This painting looks really nice. Everything in here, the chandelier, crystal, and silverware and stuff, quite nice as well. But yeah, nothing else except for what I've described.
Can we check behind all the silk drapes and behind the tapestry and stuff just to see if anything is hidden back there?
Yeah, sure. I'll just kind of give you an idea. This is sort of the back of the house. Just for the record, this direction was north. I didn't really tell you guys.
Okay.
Where you guys... I actually had it in the path. I just forgot to tell you about it. There. Dash north.
Ah, gotcha.
So, yeah.
So we're kind of northeast.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, you guys are northeast of this sort of roadway, or east of the road anyway. Sorry.
So I think we're ready for the next room or the drapes.
Yeah, so I'll just quickly just show you what you guys see outside the windows. They're stone, very nice iron bars with kind of almost crystal windows and stuff like that. But yeah, they kind of show the barn over here type of thing. It is getting much darker out. It's probably easily like, 6:30 or getting 6:45 type of thing. So the
Do you
sun
think
has
we could get out of any of these windows?
in theory, they are stonework. I know I have them as wood there, but it is stone. They are stonework. They have bless you. They have metal kind of crisscross, so you couldn't necessarily squeeze it. You'd have to kind of bust it out, type of thing. Which Zoltan, you could probably figure. You probably get through the door faster than these windows, in theory. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep trucking. And there was nothing behind the tapestry.
Nope. It's just a bar that's kind of hung up over here, and yeah.
Okay.
That painting is really nicely hung as well. But other than that, nothing of note otherwise. This is where, Jax, you saw a
Magic.
much more magical something coming from this area. It's actually just a closet, and just as you kind of look inside, your arcane sense dissipates, but you do see, just before it does, this right here had some specific magic aura around it. You think it was illusion magic of some kind, but it was centered on this hat. Nice looking silk top hat.
So I'm going to be maybe stupid and go in and I want to grab the hat.
All right. Yeah, it's a hat. And it can be put on or juggled or, dun, 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 dun,
That's exactly what I do. I just start dancing and it's great. No, I bring it out and I show, because it looks like Lunaris is the one near me. I show Lunaris the hat and I'm like, hey, Lunaris, this thing. I put it on Lunaris's head. Yes, I'm like, this would be really stylish for you. I think it'll look really great with your chainmail. No, no,
I can change the color. I didn't know I could change the color of this. It's awesome.
It's so really cool.
Purple.
Yeah, we'll go with purple. I like purple.
I tell Lunaris that there was something coming from this hat, particularly from this room.
Okay. Well, I don't think it's my style. What was special about this hat, you say?
I don't know. My senses went away as I walked into the room, but the last thing that I saw something emitting from was this hat in particular.
I see. Well, everything in here, as far as Helm is concerned, is our eyes deceive us.
It's not a
Trust
helm, that's a hat.
nothing.
I wonder, should I put it on and see if anything happens?
Mm-hmm.
Take caution, but do what you will.
All right. So I put the hat on. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna see what happens because there's information to be had, so I must have information.
All right, you put a hat on.
Information by osmosis.
Exactly. That's
You put the hat on, and you have a hat on, and it fits you. It seems quite stylish and nice and silky and smooth, and nothing seems to happen though, other than you looking cooler.
Nothing seems to happen. All right. Well, I take the hat off and I kind of shove it under my cape and in my belt because I want to make sure that I have it with me. There was something off about it, and if anybody does come out, I don't want them to see that I have it though. So
Sounds good. Add to your inventory 1 silk top hat.
1 silk top hat. Got it.
All right. And then put in quotation marks magical dash illusion question mark.
Okay. That would be.
It is definitely
Other, I
magical.
guess?
I'll say this. It is definitely magical, and the magic that was exuding off of it was illusionist based. So
Magical. Would it be filter by type? I guess other gear or.
yeah,
I don't know.
Is there? I don't
just
know
type
if there's
it
a
in.
way we can add something random. The only thing, like,
down at the bottom, other possessions. You can just click that window, and it'll like pop up for you, and you can just type it in there.
Oh, I have to just click on the window. Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
oh, I see. I see. I was using add items as well.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was doing too.
I apologize.
Yeah, I
should
used
have
that
been
the
more
other
specific.
day, so I remember how to do that now.
Magical / illusion. Okay,
All right.
got it.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
Are we still all in the other room?
Wherever you
Or
guys
have
want to
we
be.
come out?
Just
Let's all head back to that main foyer area there together, I suppose.
Yeah.
sounds good. All right.
Well, the
you
only
only
other
have one
way is
door
to go
left,
Or to go up.
or to go up. One or the other.
Let's check out the. I know
Oh,
you guys
sorry.
thought about trying to avoid that room, but I think we should check the kitchen before we leave this floor, if everybody's okay with that.
I meant to, like, while they were there, listen through the door to see if I could hear what they were plotting in there, and if it was something evil.
I could sneak in the door.
That's possible if you guys want to try and sneak in, or at least open it quietly to peer in.
Sure.
Yeah. I'll try and sneak through.
I'll let the quiet one roll the quiet roll.
Do we want to let Adam do it, or do you want to do it yourself, Grimbold?
A BRB for me, so I'd say
Okay,
go ahead.
sure. Oops. I threw you way up there.
I think I will sneak in.
Okay, sure. No worries. Give her. Go ahead
what
and
was it?
Roll a
Stealth?
stealth roll, yeah.
A 12.
12. Yeah. Yeah, you're pretty much able to open it without too much creaking, or at least, it wouldn't be like it's gonna be more like, kind of thing. And yeah, as you peer inside, you see a kitchen, but there are no people in here. I'll give you a quick description.
There's nobody inside, guys.
That's odd. Didn't they all three of them head inside there?
I thought
To
I
all of
heard
your-
the children laughing.
To all of your knowledge, they were in there.
There's a door at the
That's
far
not
end.
frightening at all.
There's a door there, yeah. The kitchen is tidy with dishware, cookware, and utensils placed neatly on shelves. A work table has a cutting board and rolling pin on top of it. A stone dome-shaped oven stands near the east wall, its bent iron stovepipe connecting to a hole in the ceiling. Behind the stove and to the left is a thin door leading to some other area. There's also a dumbwaiter right over here with a bell that seems to be on a simple rope and pulley mechanism. It is theoretically possible for Grimbold to fit into it if he,
Easily.
for whatever reason, wanted to get in there.
Easily.
So yeah.
So does it not look like that meal was prepared here?
Oh yeah, it looks like it could have easily been prepared here.
Okay, just because you said it looked like really tidy here, so.
Yeah, no, like it looks
Oh,
like
like
it's
they cleaned
been
up?
clear. Like it's probably this is the dirty dishes type of thing, or the dishes that have been recently cleaned. This here is
Gotcha.
like an actual like water spout of some kind. Like it looks like she's probably cleaned up after dinner, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah, that's yeah, but yeah, people are missing apparently, unless you want to go through this door. That's the only thing that's.
Logically.
Can I listen at the door?
Sure. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
$23.
Ooh, you hear it very, very well. It's nothing.
I hear nothing.
The silence is
That was entertaining, Michael.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be a dick about it. I just thought it'd be funny. Yeah, you don't hear anything, but you hear it very well.
Either I'm deaf or I'm hearing nothing.
Yeah, you're confident there's nothing in there, from sound alone, anyway. Would you like to go inside?
I would like to open it.
You open door. Door opens. It is a pantry. Huzzah! You see a well-stocked pantry. It's got quite a bit of like food that would be stocked, different breads and cheeses and stuff. There's like a wavy stick for your fire, a dirty mop and bucket over here, a keg of some kind, maybe probably a wine cask or something, some grains and stuff, some flour on the floor. Well-stocked pantry, but no people. Oh yeah, and a
There's
stepstone.
nobody here. And where did they go?
Okay.
Now I can show you guys pretty much the whole area since you basically have covered the whole map.
Should we go upstairs? I'm happy to, because nothing else happening down here.
Yep.
Okay, sounds good. Zoltan takes the lead and goes upstairs.
Our hosts have disappeared.
Yeah.
Shady shysters. I do this.
I think I fill my pockets with cheese.
I wouldn't eat any of it.
Roll a stealth. Roll a stealth
Filthy
roll.
cheese eater.
Roll a stealth roll.
Dax is gonna murder you.
Jax doesn't know about it.
11.
All right, Jax, roll a perception check, please.
Oh god, okay. 12.
Jax, you think you see Grimbold try to sneakily put some cheese into his cloak.
Grim. If you poison yourself, it's not my problem.
Oops. Okay. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. I have to pull this back up. Level 2. All right. And I let you see. I have you kind of all clustered here. I apologize. There we go.
It's okay.
All right, you guys climb this beautiful red marble staircase. At the top are unlit oil lamps that are mounted on the walls of this elegant hall. Hanging above the mantelpiece is a wood-framed portrait of the Durst family, Gustav and Elizabeth Durst, with their 2 smiling children. The one, in fact, that you've already seen. But the difference is that instead... Can I even see it from here? Let me go this way, sorry. There we go. The difference... well, you can kind of see it anyway, is the face is different. Mrs. Durst is looking at the baby in Gustav's arms with quite the scowl as she stares at the baby. Baby Walter, as you recall.
That's Walter.
Standing suits of armor flank wooden doors in the east and west walls. Each suit of armor clutches a spear and has a visored helm shaped like a wolf's head. The doors are carved with dancing yews. Although close... Actually, yeah, sorry. Now that you guys are getting the hang of it, Grimbold and Kiani, both of you realize that the dancing yews aren't actually dancing. They are trying to fight off a swarm of bats that are swooping down on them.
Okay.
They totally look like they're dancing. I don't know what y'all are seeing.
Totally. Yeah, the red marble staircase does continue going upward to a 3rd floor. Sorry, it's a little crowded here because what I've done is each one of your characters is now producing light if you have something lit. But as you come up, there is no light in here, so I can do this and actually shut off your guys' lights.
Cool.
So if you guys either want to turn on a lamp or cast a spell or light a torch or something, there is a little bit of light from the coals of this fire up here, but otherwise all the light seems to be like dimmed down, and you guys see 4 suits of armor kind of crowding your room here.
I shall cast light.
Let there be light. What would you like to cast your light upon?
The 2-handed sword that I have drawn.
All right, sounds like a plan.
I will bring up my lantern.
Okay, perfect. So we'll have 2 sources of light. Bing. And Grimbold. Bing.
What was the lantern? That's what?
I have a lantern.
What's the lantern?
It's a 30-foot regular light, I think, source. It might be 20. I can't quite remember.
Can I use produce flame to give myself light?
You sure can. And what's great about this is for each source of light, I can actually change the color. Lunaris, yours looks white like it does. Grimbold, yours is probably more like this.
Yeah.
And, sorry, Jax, your... Let me get you in here a little bit here.
More like red.
Your light is whatever color you want it to be, because you're a magic person and you can make whatever color lamp you want.
Yeah.
What color are you producing with your flames in your hand or whatever you want?
Purple.
Purple.
Purple, shocker. That purple or this purple? This purple or this purple?
I think given that we want more light, the lighter purple is probably better.
All right,
I think the
perfect.
darker one doesn't illuminate as much right now. I can choose a different color anytime, right? Like if I wanted to change it?
Yes, technically you can.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so those are the people who are currently producing light, and therefore that is the light that is being...
Would I be able to use a tinderbox to light a lantern?
Sure can. Yeah.
Please and
so
thank you.
there's I'll just,
Is
I'll
that
just
what a
assume-
tinderbox is?
Yeah, it's just
It's
let
so
you
much light.
strike stuff.
In your backpack.
Yeah, I saw that tinderbox. I didn't know that's what that was.
He thought he was going to be able to swipe right.
So there's
You're
one
damn
there.
straight I did.
I
was
only
funny.
just now caught what that was. That's so funny. Yeah, I think there's just the one right now is in that hallway. So let me just kind of spread you guys out for the moment. Kind of give you a bit more. Oops.
And just because Zoltan is so suspicious of everything that's going on, would I be able to disarm these armored suits?
Sure can.
I
They
do
no
not
longer
want them
have
to have their spears.
Sounds like a plan. Yeah. They don't raise a fuss. Their spears look primarily ornamental. They're not necessarily usable anyway. They're not particularly sharp. I mean, in theory, you could use them as a staff or a really shitty version of a spear, but even the suits of armor themselves here they just look.
They don't have any
fake.
swords or anything.
They
at their
look like
belts, do
fake
they?
armor. Like, in other words,
Okay.
Lunaris couldn't put on full plate mail right now because they're shitty pieces of
Gotcha.
tin. So, yeah. So you have two doors. You have this one, and you have this one. Oh, sorry. There's also a third one here. I apologize. I know it's a little tight. I apologize. It's a little. Actually, everybody roll a perception check for me.
Right.
Now that I
The
say that.
dice.
The dice. What does the dice say?
15 for Zoltan.
Roll again,
14.
Zoltan.
Again, okay. Am I... 7.
Okay. So 15.
I got 14.
Cool. As you're ascending the stairs, and the way that this structure is, because you're being a carpenter by trade, you notice that for whatever reason, this room is small, like really small for some reason. Like when you're thinking of the structure of the house from outside, you just think that it's very small for compared to like the actual hallway you just came from. So
As if there's more space in the house that is hidden from us at the moment, being used for something else.
possibly.
Possibly. Okay.
Yes.
So why don't we open a door and
We have this one,
Kick some
or this
teeth
one,
in.
or this one. Which one?
let's start.
Oops, sorry.
What were we doing before? We went to the right.
Left. All right.
Yeah.
So
So
this one.
from the top of the stairs, the one from the very right of the top of the stairs.
So sorry, the other side.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I think I can get you squeezed in here. I won't bother like putting you guys in here.
Yeah.
Do you want to light lamps as you go? Just because?
I don't see that being a bad idea. What are everybody else's thoughts?
Seems like a good
I
idea.
agree. Yeah.
I'm not against it. Nope.
Just to, and it'll help me to realize where you guys have been too.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I think that's a great idea.
Okay. So this is an undecorated room that contains a pair of beds with stuffed straw mattresses. At the foot of each bed is a footlocker of some kind. It doesn't look like there's anything particularly crazy except for the fact that this is where at least one part of the dumbwaiter leads to. That's right. It looks unused. Beds are pretty much made. This pillow's a little off center. I don't want
Is
it.
there anything in either of those foot lockers there?
Nope. All empty.
Okay. And the dumbwaiter, there's nothing at this level.
Nothing there.
All right, let's
The
backtrack.
the dumbwaiter is back down on the actual part of it that would go up is on the floor, the main floor right now.
Okay. By the way, everybody, feel free to tell me off if I'm doing too much here.
No, you're
Fine.
I like to take control of situations.
I'm at a good level myself.
Okay. Yeah, definitely jump in if you want to or whatever. And I'll.
I'm not trying to take a
Specifies.
monopoly on what's happening here.
fine. Don't worry.
All right.
Yep.
Going to this room or the other one?
Let's do another right, just to do it methodically.
All right. You got yourself a fancy-looking room here.
Is this a study or something?
Yeah,
Looks like it.
Looks like a
I'll even-
library.
A library, yeah.
Library
candles.
it is. I'll light them in a second here.
I'll
This
stay in the
room looks
main
like it
room.
has had a lot of visits over the past. Red velvet drapes cover the windows of this room. An exquisite mahogany desk and a matching high-back chair face the entrance and the fireplace. There's a little stone fire or metal fireplace there. Got like a potbelly stove. And above that hangs a framed picture of a windmill perched atop a rocky crag, which I couldn't find, so I didn't do it. Situated in the corners of the room are two overstuffed chairs. Floor-to-ceiling bookshelves line the south wall. A rolling wooden ladder allows more easily accessible reach to the shelves. I kind of made my own version of this, to be honest, but
Yeah, I kind of wanted
this
to
is-
look at what kind of books there is.
Yeah,
or,
so you gotta-
I would like to look through the books. That's a Jack's thing to do.
yeah.
yeah, do it up. Let me just quickly. Oh yeah, look, there's a puppy there too.
Hey,
Puppy! What's Puppy's name?
Immediately gets distracted by puppy and stops looking at book. I'm just kidding.
Everybody's like, ooh, puppies!
This must be a great place to be. There's puppies.
Pulls out my pipe and starts smoking.
The desk has several items resting atop it: an oil lamp, a jar of ink, a quill pen, a tinder box, and a letter kit containing a red wax candle, 4 blank sheets of parchment, and a wooden seal bearing the Durst family's insignia. Shocker, a windmill. The desk drawer is empty except for an iron key for those who decide to look. Yeah, okay. In addition to the other items on this desk is a small framed oil painting of a dog. Its pose is regal, and the painting goes to great lengths to detail the luster of the dog's bright white fur. At the bottom of the painting is written the name Sephaxis. Sephaxis was clearly the family dog.
Faxis. What a cute name.
Baby.
The
I immediately
bookshelves.
swipe right.
I want to take the key. Oh, God.
This tinderbox sucks.
Oh, God. I want to take the key.
Yeah, sounds good. You can add a iron key to your sheet.
Okay.
The bookshelves hold hundreds of tomes. As you guys are kind of rifling through them or looking at the backs and everything like that, check over here. They
Are there
include
any drawers in the desk?
Yep, but can I open this? No. Okay. I don't know why it has an open sign there. Yeah, so the drawer in the desk had the key in it, but everything else is basically what I described. Some
unlocked.
extra parchments and stuff. Yep, they're all unlocked. The bookshelves have books ranging on topics including history, warfare, alchemy. There are also several shelves containing first edition collected works of poetry and fiction. The books... I'm not saying that. Oh, there's also one other piece on the desk that I'll say because you asked. Inside one of the drawers, Grimbold, sorry, is a tattered piece of sheet music that lies on it. It is entitled Song for Elizabeth. It is a handwritten, partially burnt note, and also with some blood spatter, that, is quite pretty, nonetheless. And I will show you what it
I
looks
think
like.
something we should probably take with us.
Yes, I will put that in my pocket.
That wasn't the wife's name, was it? Elizabeth?
Elizabeth is the wife's name, yep.
Okay.
Let's see if I can't show this to you. There it is.
Oh,
Quite pretty, but also lots of blood on it for whatever reason.
Looks like old
Fact is,
and
why is your
new
blood on there?
Old and new blood.
So yeah. Are you guys all entering this room, or are some of you staying behind? I'm just curious who's coming.
I'm going to be in the hallway with my
I'm in
sword.
the room, obviously.
Okay.
I
Yanni,
shall
where are you?
guard.
I will be out as well, just waiting for everybody to come back in.
Hold on, put you near the desk. Jax is probably looking at books.
Yep.
Or the puppy.
And Morgid, are you inside?
Yeah, I'll do a once over of the room. Not necessarily the books, but just the general structure, seeing if there's anything hidden.
Sure. Go ahead and everybody who's in the room, give me a perception check, please. I'll keep on reading this. There's also Zoltan. You're the
21.
first. Nice. The first thing that you notice is a small rock collection, which is just on the bottom shelf over here.
A small what collection? Sorry.
Rock collection.
Okay. Yep.
Rad 19.
19. Perfect. Yeah, they're all kind of like labeled. It's nothing necessarily valuable, but like their scientific names, if you will, are kind of scrawled on there with nice pieces of parchment. Yeah, there's also like a shelf that's full of like ledgers and stuff that have receipts and different invoices and stuff for things like candles and daggers and incense and a whole bunch of different random stuff.
Anything out of the ordinary?
There's quite a few daggers for whatever reason.
Okay. Maybe he had to equip his farm hands or something, keep him safe from the wolves that we know attack.
Let me do this. Jax, you, with that high roll, as you're kind of perceiving, you realize that there's some light coming from behind this door, or this shelf. And as you kind of go and kind of are pushing a little bit, you accidentally open it, and it swings wide to reveal a dead body upon the chest.
God.
Oh my god.
Murder.
Murder. Not everything is murder.
Look at the bones.
Look at the bones.
Maybe they
That
got
rabbit's
lost.
dynamite.
Maybe they got
Guys,
lost.
there's a skeleton in here.
A skeleton?
A skeleton. Come look. And a chest of some sort. I don't know if it's safe to go in here, but
Well, we'll say you're at the threshold just for the light here.
yeah, that's fine. But not fully in the room.
Do I have
probably.
fucking... That's why collision is on. Stop colliding. I hate collision. Stop colliding.
Collision.
Colliding? Whatever.
Colliding.
Colliding?
That is it. That is English.
Anyway, so yeah, you kind of push in and you realize that there's a dead person, clearly like rotted through, so far so that there's like cobwebs and dust and there's no flesh left at all, so it's easily decades old.
Can we deduce from the size of the skeleton if this is male or female?
Who has medicine, if anybody?
I have a +1.
I have a +1.
I have +2.
I can roll.
I have +1.
I will allow people to roll medicine if they want to kind of look at the body more specifically.
I rolled a 1 +1. I only got 2.
I'll roll this.
Jax is convinced that this man died of old age.
I got a 15.
So he did lost.
He was like, "It's my time," and crawled in the little closet in the wall and just died.
Clearly, he was old. Clearly,
Clearly.
he was old.
Do you not see the gray hair on the floor? Come on.
There is dust. That means it's old. Sorry, Adam, did you roll?
Yes, I rolled a lucky 3.
Lucky 3 it is.
Yeah.
And anybody higher than a 15?
I got a 15 on the
You got a
mark.
15. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Grimwald, you're the first one to kind of sneak in there. You kind of, because of your diminutive size and your sneakiness, you're capable of kind of going underneath or around at least Jackson's person. And yeah, you realize that clearly this person died from some kind of trap.
Yeah.
The more you kind of investigate just on your own, you realize that he got it in the chest. There are 3 small little darts protruding, sort of like, or like kind of collected within his rib cage. One of them actually is like stuck in the sternum itself. So yes, it seems that you've deduced that it likely came from the chest that he was trying to open, that he's slumped over top of, essentially.
What don't touch the chest, guys.
What was that, sorry?
What does he have on his body again? You said something was...
Good question.
Okay.
Let me just check here. It looks like any sort of equipment that he had on him had like either rusted away or like deteriorated, like maybe he had leather armor or something. It's basically rags. Nothing of note. There's a
Been a while.
rusty dagger that he had on him. Clearly it looked like some kind of thief was here. He was likely, to answer your question, he was a human male, most likely. But
I see there's some other sort of shelf in there. Can I investigate that and see if there's anything interesting?
sure. Just to finish off what
Oh, sorry.
was it? No, it's fine. There's only one thing that for sure is strange about the man who is dead on top of the chest, and that is that he has clutched in his hands a letter.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Information.
Grim was the one searching the body, so Grim should probably grab that letter.
Okay, I will grab the letter.
All right. You explode. No, just kidding. Going out with a bang, boys and girls. Yeah, no worries. You're able to grab this parchment or this sort of scroll. It's like almost like a scroll. There was a seal on it, not of the Durst family, but of a different kind. It looks like it had been opened at one point. And this is what the letter says. My most pathetic servant, I am not a messiah sent to you by the dark powers of this land. I have not come to lead you on a path to immortality. However many souls you have bled on your hidden altar, however many visitors you have tortured in your dungeon, know that you are not the ones who brought me to this beautiful land. You are but worms writhing in my earth. You say that you are cursed, your fortunes spent. You abandoned love for madness, took solace in the bosom of another woman, and sired a bastard son. Cursed by darkness, of that I have no doubt. Save you from your wretchedness? I think not. I much prefer you as you are. Your dread lord and master, Strahd von Zarabit.
That's a lot to unpack.
I'll keep it up for you if you always want.
Are you gonna read us the letter, Grim?
Not in that way, necessarily.
No, he channeled Strahd as he read it. The voice just came out of him.
So
yeah,
it
but
sounds
this
like
is the seal that's on
these Dursts are not the kindest people here. Souls you have bled on your hidden altar. That does not sound too friendly to me.
That's just normal stuff.
Oh, my mistake.
Apparently, Jacks of Candlekeep is Jacks of Questionable Keep.
I just have an inquiring mind, and inquiring minds must know what happens when you do certain things.
Ooh, is that how it works these days?
I definitely hand off the letter to Jax.
Okay. No worries. You seem familiar with this type of behavior.
Does anything in this letter like sound off any alarm bells for Jax? Anything she might have read at any point or seen anywhere, especially in all her research she did prior to this adventure?
Yeah. The thing that catches your eye in particular is the description of dark powers. It happens to be capitalized, which anybody else probably wouldn't have noticed for the most part. You think it's weird that it's been, it's been described as a proper name. And that gives you some indicator that there's some greater force at work within this land. You know a little bit more about the multiverse and the different planes of existence because of your research. And yeah, so it does sound like there's something much greater than mortal men or elves or dwarves or whatever at work in this land. And the proper name, so far as this letter is concerned, is dark powers.
So I take the letter and fold it up and put it in my little satchel.
Alrighty.
Should I also add that to my inventory?
Sure. Yeah, I can say
A letter from Strahd.
to the Dursts.
To Durst from Strahd. Okay.
There you go. Meanwhile, the secret room contains bookshelves packed with tomes describing many questionable things. They are fiend summoning rituals or necromantic rituals of occult-like things. Priests of Eusebius, some strange cultic behavior written down, a tome of that. Jax, if you pick up any of these books and start reading, just give me a intelligence arcana check, please.
Okay. I would like to pick up the necromancy one.
Okay.
And I got 17, 20.
Nice. Even through like basically the appendix or like the not the appendix, the table of contents, right away you're kind of like your eyebrow shoots up and you're like, okay, and you start flipping through. You find out very quickly that this is all not true stuff. This is like some conspiracy theorist level bullcrap about magic. About rituals and stuff like that. You know the basic magical nature of things, being a sorcerer and being from Candlekeep. None of this would ever work. It's the wrong rituals, it's the wrong utility, it's the wrong planes of dimension that they're calling out. There's no real names type of thing. It is crap, all crap. Everything that you pick up is crap.
Okay.
In terms of knowledge, anyway. But yeah, they're they're all, there's everything from bloodletting to magical spells to cannibalism leading you to power, a whole bunch of different stuff.
Are there any books that seem like particularly used?
The Priests of Eusebius is one of the tomes that's named, that kind of, it looks like it's been rifled through a lot.
Okay.
That's probably the one that's been used the most, from what you can tell.
Can I take a look at that one?
Yeah, it's kind of the similar stuff. It looks like it describes the standard attire and demeanor and practices of this cult called the Priests of Eusebius.
Okay.
Yeah, it suggests that eternal life can be gotten by doing these ritualistic sacrifices and then consuming the flesh of your sacrifices.
Yummy.
And so, yeah, it kind of describes like a 7 levels of complexity or 7 levels of immortality, essentially, of what you can attain and what you have to do that. It seems very hokey and stupid to you, but yeah, clearly somebody thought this was worth reading over and over again.
So I feel very suspicious about this, considering what's happening, and kind of relay that to the group that it seems there may be some kind of magic happening here that isn't what someone thinks it is, essentially, because it is quite hokey, but they're following, or someone appears to be very interested in this ritual. That, from my research, doesn't seem to quite work.
Just to continue with Rue's description right quick. The heavy wooden chest has clawed iron feet standing against the south wall. Its lid is only half closed. Obviously, sticking out of it is like an arm or, half pieces of leather armor from the guy that died on it.
I think we need to get in the chest. Jax backs up, but Jax backs up a little bit just in case.
Sure. So you open the chest. Do you open it in any particular way? Is there a place you're standing? In front of it, to the side, on top of it?
To the side, and I open it slowly.
Okay. Yep. As you're opening it slowly, it sounds like a rusted spring is kind of going tick, 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 and you open it and nothing happens. As you kind of examine the lid, as soon as it kind of goes outright, it shoots 3 darts, but those darts obviously have been triggered and there's no more in there. And so it is completely, devoid of danger, it seems. As you rifle through inside, I assume you do, you notice quite a bit of, this looks like documents, kind of ledgers as previous, but more, it's more sketchy, I suppose, in some of its stuff. You also find a letter that is tucked away with a rolled up scroll that actually has a scroll case in it, and it looks like it's been properly sealed, and it looks almost like a legal documentation of some kind. And if you want to look at that, I'll show you.
Because
Let the other knows.
Pretty much like a mirage, or kind of not, is what it should be. So we're kind of like with the books, just having gibberish or things of that. Maybe the body is not even real. Who knows? But like things are not real. So
yeah, I would say that, like, from what you can tell, like, everything feels real, it smells real, it sounds real. If this is an illusion, it is like next level illusion stuff. Like, it is very, very powerful. If it is magic. So yeah, it's like, even if you were to use your magic right now to do I would say, based on your previous experience, Shanna, and same with the spiritual side from Lunaris, it's hard to differentiate between what is real and what is not real here. It permeates the entire place, all the objects. Like, it's at least subtly suggesting that, kind of what you're pointing at, and Kiani kind of like catches on this quite well, actually. He sort of says, he sort of comes to the conclusion, like, is it possible to trust any of what's being sent here? Because it is clearly, you could call it tainted, both with undeath and illusion. So, good, yeah. Did you guys want to read the letter, or?
Well, I throw the scroll to Jax.
Cool.
All right. So Jackson's definitely going to read it.
Okay, so the scroll case actually has legal documentation in it. I don't have that up. I did have it at one point, but I just didn't like it, so it gave too much information away from what I found. So, so what you open up is actually a deed. There's actually several deeds inside. One is to the Durst Manor. that you are currently clearly in. This plot of land, it sketches out multiple acres. It also sketches out massive plantation that is connected to it. What the property holdings were, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Sure. It also has a second deed to something described as the Old Mill, and that's it. It's a plot of land that is farther in the west of this area, of Barovia proper, and it appears to be something that the Durst family holdings have had for multiple generations as well.
Okay. So I basically just tell everybody what we found, and then put it away as well.
Okay. There is also a letter that has been tucked away. Did you want to
Yeah.
read that as well?
I would like to read it. I would like to read it.
All right. My dear Diamoth, I must confess my nights as of late have been sleepless. The child's wails these past several evenings have kept me awake, haunting these halls like a ghost. Margaret does her best, but other clouds yet trouble my dreams. My beloved Elizabeth, I am sure, feels it too, for she tosses and turns in our bed and awakens with her forehead slick with sweat. Over the past several congregations I have become suspicious of the ambitions of the others. Their dark murmurs worry me, and though I know that a shadow ought not fear a blacker night, I cannot but fear for the extent of their plotting. If anything happens, you are to be steward of our parents' house and the caretaker of my children. The mill as well goes to you. Keep Rose and Thorn safe, and dear Walter close to your breast. Should the worst come to pass, you shall be all they have left. Your loving brother, Gustav. I added that last part because technically the mill is his as well.
Makes sense. Okay. So I'm guessing I read that out loud, so everybody knows what it says, and I tuck it away for later information if needed as well.
Alrighty.
Who was it to again? What was her name?
It was a brother. His name was
Or his name, sorry.
Dimov. Dimov or Diamov.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Zoltan missed all that, but that's okay. Yeah. Other than that, let me see if I have anything else.
I'm assuming there's nothing left in the chest, right?
There is. Question. There is. Look at that. The chest, as you look through it, contains 3 blank books with black leather covers. They are quite nice, but they are blank. 3 spell scrolls. The deed to the house, the deed to the mill, I said that, and a signed will. The windmill referred to, blah, blah, blah. That's something I can't tell you, because that's what the other thing said, and I said don't do that. The will is signed by Gustav and Elizabeth Durst and bequeaths the house and the windmill to other family properties to Rosvalda and Thornboldt upon their death. If of coming of age is necessary, then goes to the brother Diamov. The books, scrolls, deeds, and yada yada yada, etc., etc. I can't say that. Cool. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, since Jax is the only one in the room, I offer Jax to take the scrolls and the books.
Alrighty.
Since it's not treasure.
Sounds good.
It's information, so I gotta have it. I'll take it.
Are you like taking a look at what the scrolls are?
Am I doing what?
Are you looking at what the scrolls are, the spell scrolls?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so you unroll those. Two of them are clerical scrolls of some kind. You can tell that they are essentially what is known as Bless, a kind of like a defensive spell, and spiritual weapon, and an offensive spell that you can conjure a spiritual weapon. And there's also a protection from poison scroll. Which is more...
The clerical, would that be more useful for Lunaris?
Anybody can technically cast a scroll that has, like, the intelligence to do it. But in theory, yes, they would need to make a check for it.
Okay, so I would like to give that to Lunaris.
Okay.
And I'll keep... What was the other one?
Protection from poison, and then there's Bless and spiritual weapon are the two spiritual scrolls.
Did you say spiritual weapon?
Well,
What kind of weapon?
scroll past it again. Yeah, spiritual weapon. Oh, it might be Shillelag is the official name for it, I think. Shillelagh or Shillelagh or something like that. I can't remember.
Shillelagh.
Shillelag. Shillelag?
I think that's it. Yeah. Anyway, it's you get a +1 spiritual weapon. Essentially, is what it does. So.
Okay.
Right. Process of elimination. Last door.
If we must.
Yes.
Unless you want to frame, unless you desperately want to pocket the framed picture of the dog.
That too.
I think you should take it. I think you should take it, Grim.
Why would I take a picture? That's not treasure.
It's a dog. It's treasure. Are you kidding me?
I will go in as well.
All right.
into this room.
Okay, Kiani goes in. Zoltan going in.
Yeah.
Yeah, eh? Like, whatever, huh?
Just do it.
I'll
Let's
go
do
in
it,
as
huh?
well.
All right. This is a lovely room. Shanna going in?
Sure.
Sure. And Grimble also going in?
Yeah,
Looking for the treasure.
that's right.
Lost Grimble. There you are. I think I closed the door wrong.
I'm 3 point. I'm not
You're
surprised.
tiny. I keep losing you, little bastard.
Like, I mean, naturally can hide behind medium creatures.
I can hide behind a chair.
All right. Gossamer drapes cover the windows of this elegantly appointed hall, which has a brass-plated chandelier hanging from the ceiling. Upholstered chairs line the walls, and stained glass wall hangings depict beautiful men, women, and children singing and playing instruments. A harpsichord, which is this piano-looking doohickey. For those who don't know what a harpsichord is, I didn't know that's what a harpsichord was. I thought it was a harp. I'm an idiot.
We know.
A harpsichord with
not
a
an
bench rests in the northwest corner. Near the fireplace is a large standing harp. Alabaster figurines of well-dressed dancers adorn the mantelpiece, so there's little figurines on top of the... Yeah, I didn't put that. Yeah. And that's it.
I would like to investigate the piano.
It's a piano.
Yeah, the door.
It's very nice.
Like the door, or open up the piano and see if there's anything inside the piano.
Yeah, it's kind of ajar. It's a very
yeah.
complicated looking instrument there. Yeah. It looks like a very well made harpsichord. If you pluck a key, do you want to pluck a key?
I want to plug a key to see if it's actually, if it brings a certain sound, that it's the correct sound, or if it's a sound at all, or if it's broken. Who
Yeah.
knows?
So you probably would have never seen an instrument like this, and it's, as you pluck it, it has a mechanical kind of ring to it, and it's very piercing but very beautiful. From what you can tell, it sounds great, totally in tune, all that jazz.
Can I investigate the harp?
Yep, harp, same thing. You can pluck away if you wanted to, and it would make a lovely bling kind of sound.
So it's possible with the background that I come from that I understand music, but is there anybody here who would be particularly musically inclined?
Nope.
Does anybody have a proficiency in the performance skill?
I've got
No.
+2 on performance.
But you don't.
I'm
You're not
+1.
proficient, correct?
That's under the senses stuff, yeah?
Yeah.
In your skills, yeah. So if it's if the dot next to the persuasion performance skill is not checked or glowing or anything, it means you don't have perception
Okay.
proficiency in it. Thank you.
Okay. No. Then no.
You could probably try and muddle your way through it. You do have sheet music, remember?
That's what I was thinking about, was that sheet music. I wonder
That I have.
what would happen if
Open a
we
fancy
played
door
it.
or something.
You can give it a shot. I will make you roll it at disadvantage, though.
Okay. Do you guys want me to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Who's got the music?
I have the music. I
Alright.
can give it to you.
So I rolled an 18 plus 2 is 20, and then I also rolled a 10 plus 2 is 12.
Okay. Yeah, you give it your best shot. You got the general like pattern to the music, but it is a very advanced piece. You definitely can't play this piece. It is like way above your knowledge. Like you could spend basically like a week and a half, maybe 10 days, slowly figuring it out, for sure. But as it sits and just you're plucking away, you definitely, it's beyond your skill. It's kind of like Mozart level, like it's like getting Bach all of a sudden. So, yeah, because you don't have the skill of it, you can basically just. It sounds nice from what you can tell, though. It sounds interesting. A little melancholic from what you can tell, based on the low notes, but.
No doors or anything opened though by
Nope.
playing the music. Okay, it was a try. It was a good try.
Good try.
All right. Yeah, I think that pretty much clears this floor. Do you guys want to go upstairs?
Or, yes.
Sure, if there's nothing else to do here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
appear to be.
It does appear to be smaller than what outside look like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wait, before we go upstairs, were there any hidden access panels or anything in any of the rooms that we checked? Like, could I do a investigation for that?
Try.
Is that-
Yeah, go ahead and
Perception?
do it. Do it with a advantage because you.
Investigation or perception?
Let's do investigation. 'Cause You're kind of specifically looking at the walls.
Okay, that's already really good. Okay, 2 25s.
All right. Because I don't know where it went. There's supposed to be a block covering this. You guys have probably seen it 1,000 times. As you're kind of knocking around on this wall, you do know that there's a hollowness to it, and it sounds like there's something behind here. Obviously, you guys have probably seen it by accident, but that's fine. But there doesn't seem to be an access to it, from what you can tell. But there is some hollowness back here.
Any way for me? I don't know if I want to break it down.
In theory, you could break through it. Yep.
Should I break through this, or do we want to just go upstairs?
Break through. Break
Yeah.
through.
Break through it.
Okay, sounds good. Let me look at my backpack here.
I do have a crowbar that I can use to
As you
pry.
As you go to start breaking into it, suddenly the door shuts next to Lunaris, and you think you hear something.
Great.
Sorry. Reconnect, I apologize.
You said you think you hear something, and then footsteps started playing in the audio.
Oh my. This is not
The piano's playing that we just
The
left.
harpsichord that you just
Dang,
left
Jax, that
seems to
piano
be
you're playing as well.
thick.
I try to open the door.
I feel like
Yep.
this is like a
You open it.
entrance music for a wrestler or something.
Nothing there. Sound stops.
I close the door again.
Sound starts again.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I've seen this horror movie, Zoe.
Is anybody able to open the door and stand in front of it from shutting, or is that an awful idea?
I could
Like, block
hide.
the door.
Like block the door from shutting.
We could use my crowbar.
That's a
to-
good idea, so that no people are harmed in the making of this adventure.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. I put my crowbar in the doorway. To
Okay. Yeah, it stays ajar, and it doesn't seem to try and close again once you open it again.
Okay, I'll keep using my carpenter's tools to try to remove a panel there, get in there somehow.
All right, sounds good. So you're breaking so let's say like you're kind of busting through some of these like square panels or something like that. You're
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
working through it and everything like that. You get one out. It's no problem. You start working on another one or whatever. And as you pop a second one out, all of a sudden the wall regenerates. The wood that you put on the floor just sort of melts into the floor, goes up the wall, and replaces where you just popped out a panel.
Well, I
It
may
is
be master
extremely
carpenter, but this is beyond my skill level, so
It is definitely disconcerting seeing it like that.
gelatinous cube turned into a wall.
The whole house is a gelatinous cube. That'd be hilarious. That's actually a really awesome idea for a dungeon or something.
Did anyone see the new D&D movie?
Yeah,
No,
it's
not
really
yet. I
good.
want to.
I just watched it yesterday.
Nice.
Is that why you brought up gelatinous cube?
That might have been part of it, but
Okay.
there. Oh,
I will
it's
say-
as well.
Sorry. I will say that by popping that out, you did recognize there was a stairwell that clearly was in there. Very tight, very close quarters, but you
Dungeon-esque.
can see there's clearly something, a stairwell going down or up.
Be
as
like
well,
an
I guess.
escape hatch or something.
Well, let's see if we can find a hatch to the stairwell. Yeah, like you were saying there, Linaris.
All right.
Up
Well-
we go.
The only way up is up. We are officially at our 4-hour mark. I've said that if we go any further, if we want to go for another hour, we can. It's up to you guys to vote on that. Otherwise, we can stop here and do the other 2 floors later. It's up to you.
How do you estimate it'll take us to do the other floors? Just curious.
Probably at least another hour, maybe hour and 15 minutes. I could probably get them done if I kind of skip the spinning rims type of thing.
Okay.
I'm getting a little bit short on time here today.
Okay.
So we want to stop
Same.
there then?
We could just pause.
This seems like a decent spot to pause thinking about our gelatinous cube walls.
I don't mind one way or the other. If we pause, then I can do a lot more with what's coming up anyway. Especially the 4th floor I literally finished it today in terms of constructing it. So
Yeah, I
wouldn't
saw you
mind
were
that.
on. I saw you were on it in Steam.
Yeah, so I'm fine to stop. If you're running out of time, that's cool. I'd rather us stop now or finish is basically the way I look at it. So if everybody's
Cool.
okay to stop here, that'd be fine with me.
Fine with me.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks for playing, guys.
Well, thanks, Michael. That was good.